Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shilagna Rautroy welcoming all of you to SIDBI MSME Conclave, presented in association with the Economic Times. What's about this absolutely wonderful initiative? This nationwide series of immersive gatherings is dedicated to nurturing growth, fueling collaborations, and thus empowering the micro, small, and medium enterprises, that is MSME sector. Tailored specifically for the vibrant MSME ecosystem in Tier 2 cities of Bharat, the Bhubaneswar edition of SIDBI MSME Conclave aims to highlight the dynamic world of Orissa's MSME sector and its pivotal role in shaping India's economic landscape. Our objective is to stimulate discussions and foster collaborations to build financially resilient and globally competitive MSMEs. And we are here to explore new growth opportunities, and that is going to amplify the success of Indian MSMEs, thus propelling India towards its centennial milestone, the India at 2047 vision to life. Time for the formal welcome address, and may I request Captain of the host team, Associate Editor, economictimes.com, Shri Pranabihanga Bor Pujari, to please set the context and officially welcome everyone. So.
Thank you. Mr. Sashwat Mishra, Principal Secretary, MSME Government of Orissa, Dr. Omkar Rai, Executive Chairman, Startup Orissa, Mr. Somnath Mandal, DMD SIDBI, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the SIDBI ET MSME Conclave. As mentioned, SIDBI MSME Conclave is a series of events nationwide which is aimed at catalyzing the next wave of growth opportunities and enabling knowledge exchange that can pave the way for a sustainable growth within the MSME network. This is the second summit that we are holding after Indore in so many days. But I would take this opportunity to delve on what we at Economic Times see this as. When we look at economic development across every part of the country, it is clear increasing social investment and hoping for economic activity to follow is not the solution. Instead, an economic model must begin with the premise that businesses in cities outside the large metros should be profitable and positioned to compete on a region, national, and maybe international scale. So how do we do that? Every city has its strength, and every state in the country has entrepreneurs that seek to break the mold. For us, it is about finding those businesses, getting to know their story, and ensuring every small business across the country can find an equal footing. Now let us delve a little deeper. First, over the last few decades, the Indian economy has created a divergence in the economic development between large urban cities and the tier 2 and 3 cities across India. We often hear about the lack of opportunities in smaller cities across India, which leads to brain drain, population loss, and at the same time, the urban cities face serious challenges and buckle under the pressure of migration. Second, places outside the metro cities still account for a significant share of population and economic contribution. Entrepreneurship potential in these communities, therefore, must not be overlooked. Third, non-metropolitan entrepreneurial activities exhibit different patterns from the metropolitan ones. Economic activity in and around these cities take the route of competitive advantage and the niche it occupies. Minerals in Orissa, the forging industry in Ludhiana, the power looms of Belgavi, each has its own unique advantage that is hard to replicate. And these are the cities that we are focusing on. What is also clear to us at ET is the unique effects of agglomeration in each of these cities. What is the agglomeration effect? When firms form clusters of economic activity and production is cheaper because of these clustering efforts, agglomeration happens. Why is this important? Because this process can help urbanize smaller cities and increase economic activities. The world has shrunk, and trade and commerce is no longer limited to the boundaries of any country. If cities and states have to prosper, they must find compelling economic and business reasons. And it is not the case that there is no great work happening outside a Delhi, Bangalore, or a Hyderabad. It is just that not enough is spoken about it. And we at ET want to change that. From Bhubaneswar, we'll move on to cities like Aurangabad, Rajkot, Ludhiana, Belgavi. And in each of these cities, I personally would like to find these exciting MSMEs. Each year, we run a program called the MSME Award. The last 2023 version concluded in December, and the next one will be around November and December of 2024. The nominations open around in June or July, and last year we saw around 13,000 entries and had winners in 26 different categories. Why do I mention this? When I see what these companies have done, I'm struck by the sheer entrepreneurial vigor and the prowess. It is not a question of valuations for them. It is about real opportunity, seizing that opportunity, and creating wealth and prosperity for the economy. Those awards are a clear testament of what Indian MSMEs are capable of, and I personally get very excited. I would once again welcome all of you to the summit, and I hope all of you have a fruitful evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pujari, for those overwhelming words of welcome. I would like to remind you all that at the end of the evening, we have an open house with SIDBI leadership, so keep your questions prepared because it's not every day that you get an opportunity as special as this. Ladies and gentlemen, dear entrepreneurs, it's time now to hear from someone who's very special because he has decades of experience and a lot of stories and lessons to share with you all. Shri Sudatta Mandal has more than 25 years of experience across different verticals like assets, liabilities, risk management, compliance and strategy, including more than 20 years of operational experience in international trade and investment finance, project finance, SME lending, including cluster finance, trade finance, and cross-border development finance. Prior to his current role as Deputy Managing Director SIDBI that he assumed in May 2021, Shri Mandal has been the Chief General Manager and Chief Financial Officer of Export-Import Bank of India, and he'll be talking about building Odisha's startup hub, SIDBI's role in shaping the next decade. Please put your hands together as I request Shri Sudatta Mandal to please share his thoughts with the House. Sir.
Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of my SIDBI family, wish you all a very good evening and a happy, healthy, and successful year ahead. SIDBI is taking several path-breaking initiatives for the promotion and development of MSMEs and promoting entrepreneurship culture in the country. The bank has been playing its role as a DFI for the MSME sector for the last 3 decades and has done phenomenal work in the MSME space. SIDBI has started focusing more on promotion of new enterprises and scaling up of existing enterprises. The bank has been increasingly undertaking Credit Plus initiatives to strengthen the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. SIDBI has brought the stakeholders, especially banks and financial institutions, together to onboard this entrepreneurial journey, and many players have not only applauded the efforts, but have also joined in many of the initiatives undertaken by SIDBI. And in true sense, we look at ourselves as a market maker rather than being just another player in the market. Total bank credit to MSMEs in Odisha stood at 74,707 crore in December 22, as against 46,079 crore in December 2021, showing a year-on-year growth of 62%. The outstanding loans to the MSME sector from scheduled commercial banks across the country stood at 22.6 lakh crore as at end of March 2023, so you can work out the percentage of credit in the state of Orissa. As regards SIDBI, the overall credit from SIDBI to MSMEs in Orissa stood at 1,095 crore as on December 31, 2023. SIDBI has been actively working towards the development of the MSME sector across India, including in the state of Odisha. In recent years, SIDBI has ventured into various new areas, namely green finance, digital lending, partner lending, etc. Refinance assistance is extended by SIDBI to banks, NBFCs, new age fintechs, MFIs, and other institutions engaged in extending credit to the MSME sector to increase the flow of credit to MSMEs, including the underserved and unserved MSMEs. The effort is to create adequate liquidity in the system, to increase the availability of credit for MSMEs, and keep the interest rate competitive. The outstanding refinance assistance stood at 4.03 lakh crore Indian rupees. SIDBI has been extending assistance to facilitate hard and soft cluster interventions through SIDBI Cluster Development Fund, or SCDF. Under the scheme, SIDBI extends credit support to the state governments for creating infrastructure towards development of SME clusters. The scheme facilitates state and union territory governments to create or upgrade infrastructural facilities in the new and existing MSME clusters. Out of the total corpus of 7,000 crore, SIDBI has extended formal sanctions amounting to around 5,674 crores for 111 projects in 8 states and union territories. Coming to SIDBI's cluster initiatives in the state of Orissa, under SIDBI's Cluster Development Finance Program, we have sanctioned term loans aggregating 2,847 crore for 28 projects having an aggregate project cost of 3,262 crore. These projects are envisaged to benefit more than 17,000 MSMEs and generate direct and indirect employment of 36,000 and 77,000 respectively. The state government is in the process of prioritizing proposals for submission to SIDBI for coverage under the SCDF. We expect a proposal from the government of Orissa for construction of the IDCO tower at Info Valley in Bhubaneswar at a project cost of 803 crore, which is expected to be submitted shortly for a loan of around 723 crore under SCDF. I'm sure you would be aware of SIDBI's experience in providing venture capital. SIDBI is operating the Fund of Funds for Startups having a corpus of 10,000 crore. This is a fund or corpus set up by the Ministry of Commerce, DPIIT, and given to SIDBI to administer. We have the honor of administering this fund on behalf of DPIIT. It works on a fund of fund, or rather the fund of fund works on a mother-daughter concept, which means that we invest in AIFs, alternate investment funds, who in turn invest in startups. The requirement is that whatever investment we put in any fund of the AIF, minimum twice that amount of investment has to be invested in startups. We had been given a time horizon of March 2026 to commit the entire 10,000 crore. I'm happy to share with you that we have already committed more than 10,000 crore as of date. This has been one of the most successful programs of the Government of India. The whole idea of setting up this corpus and giving it to SIDBI to administer was to encourage domestic capital coming into the venture finance sector. Because traditionally, Indian venture capital has been dependent on global funds coming in, global finance coming in. This was a way for the domestic capital to be attracted for investment in the venture capital space in the country. And the Fund of Funds for Startups has played a catalytic role in catalyzing that kind of a domestic capital into the sector. We generally invest up to 15% of the drawable corpus in any fund whenever we do invest, which would tell you that we have been able to catalyze, therefore, more than 7.5 times the investment that we have made. Just to quote some statistics for you, under the Fund of Funds, so far, 129 AIFs have been supported, out of which 15 are women-led. Further, AIFs supported under FFS have invested 17,534 crore in 938 startups, out of which more than 2,036 crore has been invested in 110 startups, which are women-led or women-focused. And if I'm not mistaken, the total number of unicorns so far out of the investments that we have made is more than 15. So far, investments of 83 crore has been made to 6 startups in the state of Odisha. Separately, the government of Odisha has launched a fund of funds named Odisha Startup Growth Fund, or OSGF, with a corpus of 100 crore to support emerging startups in Odisha. SIDBI has been entrusted with the operations of the Fund of Fund. The initiative will support the growth of Odisha's startup ecosystem and transform Orissa into a preferred startup destination. SIDBI has also approved a seed fund corpus of rupees 10 crore to be deployed as seed stage investment in Odisha-based startups. This program shall be run in partnership with the incubator setup at Startup Odisha and will augment the pipeline for the Odisha Startup Growth Fund. Just to give you a little more background on this program, as I was sharing with some, incidentally, the IT Bhubaneswar director had come to meet me just before this event to discuss setting up of a similar corpus with their incubation center. So the incubation centers, if you see, traditionally have been dependent on the government grants. So there are several grants available from various ministries, various departments of the Government of India. And these grants generally get utilized for setting up the infrastructure for the incubation center. Very little amount actually goes as investment into the incubating companies. And even if it goes into the incubating companies, it goes by a way of grant. And the check size is really small, 25,000, 50,000, or a lakh perhaps, not more than that. There is a need for funding at the seed stage. These incubating companies at the incubation centers require funding to take their prototype or their product ideas to the commercial level, to the next level of funding. And depending on the runway, they need funding to reach that kind of a stage where they can go for the next round of funding from the venture capital ecosystem. Or appreciating this need for seed stage funding at the incubating company level at the seed stage, SIDBI decided to start a commercially oriented funding structure instead of a grant, because grant, as you know, grant is a grant. There is not much of monitoring of the end use, and once it goes out, you don't expect it to come back to you, and therefore you don't monitor it so much as you should. So what we did, we started with the incubation center at the IIT Kanpur, since we have a very long relationship with them. So what we did is we set up a corpus with the incubation center at IIT Kanpur and told them that, look, I'm giving you a corpus of 10 crore. With this 10 crore, you invest on behalf of SIDBI in the equity of the incubating companies that come to you as at your incubation center. And we expect you to scrutinize these proposals, do the screening, do the due diligence, and then decide on the investment. You will hold the investment on behalf of SIDBI, and for your efforts, we will be sharing a small fee with them. And just to ensure that they also have a skin in the game, they are also required to put in a token amount, say 5 lakh or 10 lakh rupees, into each of these incubating companies where my money is going as equity investment. Further, to ensure that these incubation centers continue to handhold these incubating companies to the stage that they commercialize the product, go for the next round of funding, or go for an IPO, whatever capital gains I make on exit, if any, if I make, 20% or 25% of that I will share with the incubation center. So essentially, I'm treating the incubation center as my fund manager, as is typical in the venture capital sector, and therefore giving it a commercial orientation, and therefore bringing in that discipline and seriousness into the entire investing activity. This was caught on by the other incubation centers. They found this as a very good structure that will work and will also be viable over a longer period of time instead of getting a grant support from anybody. And thereafter, we started getting requests from various incubation centers to set up similar corpuses with them. I'm happy to share with you that as of today, we have set up similar corpuses with 16 such incubation centers across the country. Not all of them are the big ones like the IITs and IIMs. We have also set up with some of the smaller academic institutions which have a relatively smaller incubation center. And we are happy to look at the proposal which I today in the afternoon discussed with IIT Bhubaneswar. Continuing with our efforts in the startup ecosystem, we have also started extending venture debt to MSMEs and startups, where financial assistance in the form of term loan is being sanctioned to eligible enterprises engaged in various sectors under manufacturing and services across India. There is a very material difference between the way we are doing venture debt and the way the AIFs or the venture funds are doing venture debt, in the sense that we do not insist on any equity kicker. Right? Generally, when a venture debt is provided, venture debt is considered to be risky than a normal debt. because most of the borrowing companies do not have a profit track record to show. They will still be burning. And therefore, as a future upside, the venture debt providers insist on an equity kicker, which means that once they go in for the next round of funding, or if they go for an IPO, that equity, sale of that equity in the next round of funding will give them additional return, which will cover the risks that they have undertaken at the beginning. Being a development financial institution, SIDBI is not insisting on any equity kicker in our venture debt program. SIDBI has also forayed into green lending space and is aiming to emerge as the Green Bank of India, offering financial and non-financial solutions besides taking leadership in thought and action in respect of green finance. To embed green investment as a culture in MSMEs, SIDBI revamped its schemes to finance the green, simplified the processes, digitized access, and provides hand-holding support to the value chain on each green loan proposal. Under the Green Initiative, SIDBI has sanctioned loans aggregating 5.5 crore to 5 MSMEs in Orissa for rooftop solar project as well as procurement of energy efficiency machinery and equipment. This is only the statistic for the state of Odisha. We have been doing this across the country. And again, I'm happy to share with you that I think around 55% of the incremental disbursements in direct credit to SMEs during the current financial year has been under the green initiatives. Coming to another innovative product initiative of SIDBI, it is called Prayas. Now, perhaps some of you would be aware of the microfinance sector and the micro enterprises. The micro enterprises generally get financing from the microfinance sector, and the microfinance model of lending is that of a JLG, the Joint Liability Group model, where you have 3, 4, 5 micro enterprises formed into a group, and then that group approaches for credit facilities from the MFIs, number one. Number two, the MFI's ticket size also is limited to 80 or 85, and some of the bigger ones, it is now up to 90,000 rupees per loan. There are several such micro enterprises who have gone through, say, 3 or 4 credit cycles from the MFIs and have graduated to a stage where their requirement is more than 80,000 or 1 lakh. Their requirement is larger because they want to expand their operations. And they also want to take the credit on their own as an individual enterprise and not under the JLG model. This was the segment which was not being catered to either by the MFIs because it did not permit as per their policies. Neither was it being catered to by the NBFCs or the banks. And in many sectors, this segment is fashionably called the missing middle segment. SIDBI identified the financing need of this segment, and in association and partnership with the MFIs, set up this product called Prayas, where we provide credit directly to these micro enterprises from 50,000 rupees to 5 lakh rupees. And this is a collateral-free credit, purely digital. And we use the microfinance institutions as our partners. They help in generating proposals. In fact, they refer their customers who have gone through 3, 4 credit cycles satisfactorily and have a larger requirement. Those cases are referred to SIDBI, and we do a very basic due diligence through a business rule engine and sanction credit to them. The credit is disbursed to them through the MFIs. We are in the process of now disbursing directly into the accounts of the beneficiaries. The MFIs are also entrusted with the job of monitoring and collection of that due, because they have feet on the street. They have the bandwidth to reach out to these micro enterprises and collect the installments from them. In lieu of the services provided by the MFIs, we share a substantial part of the interest income as fee. And to ensure that these MFIs do not refer ghost borrowers to us, and to ensure that they have a skin in the game, there is a FLDG of 5% which these MFIs are expected to provide to us. Now, this product started at a pilot scale. We had got some special funding from the RBI for around 968 crore rupees. And the entire 968 crore rupees was disbursed out by SIDBI in no time. And we had very good experience in this product. We were apprehending that the delinquency levels will perhaps be high, given the nature of the borrower being micro enterprise. But we were very pleasantly surprised to see that the delinquency levels were actually quite low. Encouraged by that fact, we decided to scale this up, and we have plans to scale it up to 10,000 crore. And we got the board approval for starting a different version of the same product from our own resources. We do not want to depend on any concessional funding from RBI or anybody else. Today, that portfolio has grown to over 2,000 crore, And we have supported more than 1.59 lakh beneficiaries under this scheme, and more than 87% of those beneficiaries are actually women entrepreneurs. Again, since I'm in Odisha, under this scheme, SIDBI has partnered with 7 MFIs who also operate in the state of Odisha, and it has led to extending credit to 2,000 micro-enterprises in this state. SIDBI, being a DFI, is not only the purveyor of credit. We have a role beyond simply extending credit facilities to the MSMEs. We also have the mandate of promoting and developing the MSME ecosystem. So there are a host of promotional and developmental activities that we undertake at the national level and also at the local level. Many such initiatives which are operational in the state of Orissa, some of them I would like to highlight. The Swavalamban skill classes for livelihood. This is in collaboration with Tata Strive Skill Development Center to help 500 skilled and aspiring youth in Uttar Pradesh, Odisha and Maharashtra to receive intensive support and training for setting up small businesses. So far, we have supported 90 such youth in Odisha. Swavalamban assistance for financial literacy, adoption of villages, and credit and market linkages with the acronym of SAFAL. SIDBI, in partnership with the Society for Advancement of Village Economy, or SAVE, has implemented an intervention for the advancement of women entrepreneurs by the adoption of villages in the states of Bihar and Jharkhand initially. The project was further replicated in 10 other states, including Odisha. Under this program, 1,534 women entrepreneurs in Odisha have been supported. The third program is Women Entrepreneurship, Livelihood Enhancement and Development, WeLead. SIDBI has implemented the WeLead program in Odisha and West Bengal in partnership with the state MFI associations. Women entrepreneurs from self-help groups and joint liability group members are supported with enterprise and skill building training and business development services, including credit and market linkages in various districts. Currently, 20,000 plus such SHG and JLG members are to be covered, 18,000 women entrepreneurs to be promoted, 8,000 new entrepreneurs to be promoted, and 10,000 existing entrepreneurs to be strengthened, and 14,000 entrepreneurs to be supported for credit linkages. In the state of Odisha, 15,000 SHG and JLG women are to be covered, out of which 12,000 will be promoted for entrepreneurship. Around 6,000 will be existing, and the remaining 6,000 will be new entrepreneurs. And all these 12,000 entrepreneurs will be supported for credit linkage. Till date, 8,700 women entrepreneurs have been provided credit linkage, out of which 6,036 have set up their own livelihood enterprises. The next program is the Swavalamban Connect Kendra. The bank is operating SCKs in various states, including Odisha, to guide aspiring entrepreneurs to become job creators through awareness, mapping gaps, skill connect, pre-handholding support, create localized project profiles, credit connect, and post-handholding support like market connect, etc. In the state of Odisha, 14 SCKs have been operational in 14 districts, and a total of 797 enterprises have been created, and 675 enterprises have been scaled up, including providing credit connect. Going forward, the bank shall be establishing SCKs in all the districts of Odisha. The next program is Tribal Odisha Women Entrepreneurship Restructuring, or TOWER. The Mahabhinishkraman Unnayan Sansthan is implementing the TOWER project to help 100 tribal women entrepreneurs in Keonjhar district of Odisha for developing business using non-timber forest produce. A CFC with modern machinery powered by solar energy has been established to produce high-quality sal leaf plates and bowls, which is managed and owned by the women community. The next program is Cluster Intervention Program, or CIP, in Handloom Cluster of Bargarh and Sambalpur. The bank has adopted the cluster for 2 years with the broad objective of designing and implementing strategies to strengthen the cluster, strengthening the access of SMEs to various services, assisting the clusters in becoming self-sustainable, and develop as role models with a strong demonstration effect. SIDBI has entered into an MOU with IIM Sambalpur to strengthen the small businesses and micro enterprises of various weaving and craft clusters across the state. Several strategic interventions will be undertaken under the partnership focused on strengthening the supply chains, helping clusters become self-sustainable, and developing a culture of entrepreneurship. The digital initiatives of SIDBI recently has been path-breaking, to name a few. SIDBI, in association with the Ministry of MSME, has developed the Udyam Assist platform with Ministry of MSME to bring informal micro enterprises into the formal economy by issuing Udyam certificate. Just before this event started, we were discussing that there was a discrepancy in the number of SMEs as per the statistics and the number of SMEs as appearing on the portal of the MSMEs. And the difference is because of the registrations not being done. So as per the last census that was done quite some time back, there were 6.3 crore MSMEs in the country. That number should today be around 7.5 to 8 crore. Not only because of the increase in the number of the MSMEs, but because the trading sector has also been brought into the definition of MSMEs. But out of those 8 crore or 8.5 crore MSMEs in the country today, I think about 3 crore SMEs today have an Udyam registration number. You all would be aware that for you to avail any benefit related to the MSMEs, you have to have the Udyam registration number mandatorily. The Udyam registration number was the portal of the Ministry of MSME, was a self-registration process where you could register yourself. One of the main information requirement there was the PAN number. And the reason why that PAN number was required is that with the PAN number and your consent, the IT return would be fetched. And the IT return will tell me what is your turnover and what is your investment. These are the two criteria which are used for the definition of micro, small, and medium enterprises as per the definition in the MSMED Act of the country. Right? So many of the many of the MSMEs are 95% of the MSMEs in the country today actually belong to the micro sector, and most of them do not have a PAN number, or even if they do have a PAN number, they do not file their income tax returns. So that was a big deterrent from registering these MSMEs onto the Udyam registration portal. So much so that both the RBI and the ministry have issued guidelines that if you do not have an Udyam registration number, then loan given by any bank to you cannot be classified as priority sector lending. So therefore, many of the banks who, although are extending a lot of credit to this sector, are not meeting the priority sector lending targets because of the absence of the Udyam registration number of their borrowers. So what SIDBI decided was that instead of a self-registration process where you need the the PAN number mandatorily, let us work on some other unique identification number as the pivot and get the registrations done through an assist mode. So for example, if any enterprise, MSME enterprise, goes to a bank for a loan, the bank would be doing an assessment on that, full assessment and due diligence on that loan. It will be doing the KYC, it will be obtaining its financial statements and establishing the fact that it is a micro, small or medium enterprise, basis which it is anyways reporting the data to the RBI for their priority sector lending targets. So the idea was to use these regulated entities who are involved in providing credit to this segment to provide us the data on their status, on their turnover, on their investments, and their due diligence for us to then generate an Udyam registration number for them. So we created an Udyam Assist portal. Therefore, it is different from the Udyam portal of the Ministry of MSME. We got the approval from the Ministry of MSME to run this portal and come up with this idea of an assisted Udyam registration generation. It took us a lot of effort to get the approvals, necessary approvals and notifications from the Government of India and also UIDAI. And I'm happy to share with you that in less or maybe a little over than a month, we have registered more than 1 crore entities onto this Udyam Assist portal. So the 3 crore number that you were quoting today actually includes the 1 crore MSMEs onboarded onto the portal by SIDBI through the Udyam Assist portal. So this is one of the very large projects that we have undertaken, and we intend to cover the entire 8.5 crore MSMEs by registering or onboarding them onto the Udyam portal. That will then enable them to avail of all the benefits that are there in the various schemes of both the central government and the state governments. The other digital initiative that we introduced was the GST Sahay, wherein we have developed a product for invoice financing available on tap. This is primarily targeted to the small businesses, the micro enterprises. Generally, what happens is that if you need a working capital facility, you would go to your nearest bank, ask for a working capital facility. The bank will ask you for your financial statements, a host of other information, and then assess a limit for you. You have the concept of an assessed limit in working capital whenever you go to the banking system. And you can avail of finance only from that bank who has given you that limit and within the limit which has been provided to you. And you are also required to provide a lot of collateral in case the primary security is not enough for the bank. This product is totally digital, totally contactless, a platform-based product where you just need to provide 3 information on the platform. You need to provide your mobile number, your PAN number, and your consent to fetch your data from the public database which is available. So basis your consent, your GST returns will be fetched, your income tax returns will be fetched, and your bank account statements will be fetched through the account aggregator framework. There are enough tools developed by the fintech companies today. These are data analytic tools which analyze the data of GST, analyze the data of income tax, and analyze the bank statements and come up with the scoring, which gives comfort to lenders like SIDBI in providing credit to these borrowers. So only basis this 3 data, you can bring your invoice onto the platform and get working capital finance against that invoice, be it purchase invoice or a sales invoice. And this is again available on tap, as in when you want a particular invoice to be financed, you can avail of the finance. You don't need to go to the bank to get a limit set up for you. Now this, we believe, is going to revolutionize the way the working capital is provided to the MSMEs in the country. And being a DFI, before I move there, this product was actually tested under the regulatory sandbox of the RBI, the 3rd cohort. And we have successfully tested and passed that test, and we have got the approval from RBI to take it forward. And as I was saying, being a DFI, we have shared the technology stack with all the commercial banks in the country. We have not restricted it to ourselves, we have shared it with all the banks. The banks will now use that technology stack. On that, they will build in their own rule engines depending on their risk appetites and come up with a product. We are already in the process of coming up with our own GST Sahay product, where we will start with some of the anchor companies like the FMCG companies like say HUL or Colgate-Palmolive and the likes, ITC. And the MSMEs or the micro enterprises, really micro enterprises, the kirana shops who buy and sell products of these anchor companies will get then covered under the GST Sahay. We'll be able to provide them invoice-based financing. The other digital initiative is the FIT rank, or the Financial Income and Trade rank. Again, there is a challenge faced by the MSMEs in getting a credit rating. Right? You all would be aware here that because of one standardized approach being deployed by the or used by the rating agencies, the MSMEs generally do not get a good rating just because of their small size. You will find hardly any AAA rated MSME in the country, right? Because the rating methodology is biased in favor of the larger corporates. And therefore, many of the banks actually do not use the external rating for lending to the MSMEs. And that at times becomes a deterrent, because then the lenders find it difficult to assess the credit worthiness of the borrower. So what we did in association with Civil TransUnion and OPL, which is a fintech company co-promoted by SIDBI, again, we are using consent-based data fetching from ITR, GST, and the bank account statements, basis your consent. And there are analytical tools and algorithms built around these 3 sets of data to arrive at a credit ranking for the SMEs. So I do not need you to submit your audited annual account, which anyways used to be taken with a pinch of salt, if not a dollop salt, by the bankers, because of the so-called risk perception for the MSME sector. Not only that, your audited accounts actually come almost with a year's delay. For the financial year ended 31st March 2023, I'm sure many of you would still be finalizing your audited accounts. But if you use this digital data from the source, you have real-time data available with you, you have reliable data available with you, and you have enough data analytic tools to analyze data and give you a score. So again, we have shared this with all the banks. The banks are very enthused, and they are doing their own back testing basis their own portfolio, existing portfolio. We have already done the back testing and found the model to be quite robust. The probability of default which comes with the FIT ranking is a fair determinant of the risk in that portfolio. So as to demonstrate, as you say, the proof of pudding is in eating. So to have the demonstration effect, we have already started using fit rank in our decision-making process. In fact, each and every loan proposal that comes to SIDBI goes through the fit rank. Okay? So therefore, we will be able to demonstrate that this fit rank is a very good substitute for the external credit rating, where the MSMEs anyways are at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the larger corporates. Another beauty of this fit rank is that it is a modular ranking model. It is not necessary that you have to have all the 3 data sets available with you for you to get a fit rank. Even with 2 of the 3 data sets or 1 of the 3 data sets, you can still get a fit rank. And this will become useful for the new to credit customers. There are many micro enterprises who have never taken credit from the formal banking system, and therefore they will not have a bank account statement, or they will not have a credit behavior record with the credit bureaus. So this fit rank is going to help these kind of borrowers who will perhaps have only the ITR and the GST returns without the bank account statements. Also, the fit rank can be generated and they can avail credit from the banking system at competitive rates. Anyway, that's been a long address. We at SIDBI believe that MSMEs are the backbone of the Indian economy, and we shall continue to strive towards development of the entire MSME ecosystem to ensure their larger and larger contribution to the country's GDP and exports. With these words, I would like to conclude my address. Thank you for being part of this event. I really appreciate your presence here. We hope to have a long and fruitful relationship with the MSME ecosystem in the state of Orissa. Thank you for your attention, and have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Sir, please stay back. We have a small gift for you. Thank you so much, sir. May I request our associate editor to please join us on stage and present a small token of gratitude to Shri Mondal. You're presenting a beautiful Patachitra, and instead of a plaque or a bouquet of flowers, we are giving an Akshay Patra Foundation certificate that says that you are donating 150 midday meals through SIDBI. I think this is really thoughtful of SIDBI family, because Akshay Patra Foundation has been one organization that is feeding 2 million school children through midday meals. Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful address. Can we have a round of applause for Shri Mondal? Thank you, sir.
Just a few more sentences on the Akshay Patra certificate. When I joined this organization in May 2021, so it's just 2.5 years back, and this is a legacy I'm carrying from my earlier organization. So what we decided was that we will stop giving flower bouquets to all our guests for any event. In lieu of the flower bouquets, because what happens, you hand a flower bouquet, you accept that with a smile, and then you keep it aside and you forget it, and it gets wasted. So instead of flower bouquet, we started this practice of providing Akshay Patra certificate. So we donate for providing midday meals for the destitute children by Akshay Patra on your name, on your behalf, and give you a certificate for that. So I'm also one of the recipients of the certificate today. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Mondal, and thank you, SIDBI family. It seems like when you're associated with SIDBI, you are also associated with the good work we do for the people. Can we have a bigger round of applause? What a thought. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, at this conclave, as we are talking about how to strengthen the MSME sector, the entrepreneurs, through governmental assistance, schemes, programs, it is important to hear from someone under whose able leadership the MSME sector of Odisha is growing beyond boundaries. And the support and help from Government of Odisha is reaching out to MSME even at the remotest corner of the state effortlessly. He has to be esteemed Principal Secretary of the Department, Shri Sasud Mishra. May I request you, sir, to please join us on stage and to have an absolutely heartfelt, compelling conversation with him. May I request our Associate Editor, Shri Pranam Pujari, to also join us on stage. And the theme of this conversation is going to be cluster development and district growth, an insider's perspective on Odisha's strategy. Can we have a round of applause for the panel here, for Shri Mishra, for Shri Pujari, and over to the moderator.
Great. Good evening once again. Good to have you with us, Ms. Mishra. First, let's get a profile on the state. How many MSMEs are there in the state? What is their contribution to the state economy?
Yeah, good evening to all. Let me start with an admission that I'm getting little frightened by the very formal ambience of this event, very un-MSME kind of thing. Anyway, I will not get into a typical question answer kind of session, but yes, as you all know, that MSMEs are the backbone of any economy. Roughly 30% of the GDP, 40 to 45% of the export, second largest employer after agriculture. So these three credentials are good enough to establish MSMEs as the backbone of any developed economy. In Odisha, the numbers would be little less because there is no comprehensive survey of MSMEs. So we can't have a reliable data. These numbers would be little less in Odisha, but would not be very much less than the national average. But the problem with Odisha is that we have large industries, so many large industries, but our MSMEs are not developing to that extent. Unlike Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, or to a certain extent Andhra Pradesh or Delhi, Haryana, our MSME base is quite low. Large industries have the responsibility of developing the ancillaries, downstreams, and etc. Government is supposed to play the catalytic role. Banks and financial institutions are supposed to give credit. So with all these supporting roles being played properly by the players, the MSME sector will look up in Odisha. Now things are not that bad. Things were quite bad 10, 15 years back, but now things are looking up and our MSMEs are doing steady progress. But can't really give you any statistics because there is no comprehensive data on MSME survey. The last data, as Mr. Mandal said, perhaps 2016, the last MSME survey by Government of India. Once a detailed survey is made, we can have some reliable data.
Right. You talked about the role of government in catalyzing the efforts for MSMEs. What is it that the state government is doing to encourage MSMEs and small businesses in the state?
Okay. What the state government is doing. Number one, state government is bringing in enabling policy framework. Whether it is IPR 2022 or MSME Development Policy 2022, Food Processing Policy 2022 or Textile and Apparel Policy or IT Policy or Startup Policy or whatever. So first thing is that we are bringing in enabling policy framework, and under the policy we are giving some incentives. Like suppose if one MSME unit is set up in Odisha today, it would be eligible for certain percentage of subsidy on its capital investment on plants and machineries. It would be eligible for certain subsidies on the term loan it avails from the bank, certain subsidies on the SGST, the reimbursement, certain subsidies on the power tariff, and the land registration cost subsidy, and some, these are the main features. Then there are some minor subsidy components also. So annually we are giving about 50 to 60 crores of rupees of subsidy to various MSMEs under various policies. That is number one. Number two, the state's primary role is to create supporting infrastructure. Whether it is road, airport, seaport, and other facilities, we need to create the supporting infrastructure. You would be surprised to know that the Biju Express way that has been made by the state government of Orissa, covering the southern tip of Odisha to the northwestern tip of Odisha, running from Nabrangpur to say Sundargarh. If anybody has traveled on that Biju Expressway, you would really be surprised to find that kind of road coming in the western and southern part of Odisha and leading to development of industries in that part of Odisha. For example, I had been to Balangir, that you know Balangir is a KBK district, and one lady has set up a pasta making unit there. She hails from Bhubaneswar but decided to set up the unit in Balangir for two reasons. One, the land available in Balangir was at a lesser cost, and second, because of the Biju Expressway. Because most of the inputs would come from Chhattisgarh or Raipur side, So she decided that why should I take it all the way to Bhubaneswar? Why not set up it here in Balangir? Because of the very good road connectivity and connectivity towards Vizag also for export. So these are the supporting infrastructure that government is creating. Then another major limitation with Odisha was that we in Odisha did not have an airport for export-import, a seaport for export-import, of seaport especially for containerized cargo. I'm not talking of bulk cargo like iron ore, chromite ore, and those things. Those things have been going on for the last 3, 4, 5 decades. So that is the first round of development, industrial development Odisha witnessed. But we are talking of the second round of development, where most of the export and imports happen through containerized cargo. And it is quite unfortunate that Paradip port handled entire 2023, Paradip port handled only 2 vessels carrying 360 containers from Paradip to Port Klang. 360 containers only in an entire year. And Vizag does this in 1 hour. Vizag does 300, 400 containers in 1 hour. We did it in entire 1 year. So what we are doing now? Government is now talking to the largest shipping companies of the world to start operation from Paradip. And we are also going to give some viability gap funding. It's on the discussion stage, can't officially declare, but MSC, Mediterranean Shipping Company, which is the largest container shipping company of the world, has shown keen interest to start containerized export-import shipping service from Paradip. And if touchwood all go through, then maybe in April or December, maybe earlier than that, March, we would be having that service. The idea is to take it from Paradip to Colombo and transshipment from Colombo. Similarly, RCL, Regional Container Lines, a Thailand-based company, is keen to start Paradip to Port Klang operation. As we did in airlines, you must be aware that 3 direct flights to Dubai, Bangkok and Singapore are going from Bhubaneswar, where government is giving VGF. And it has become very popular. Now, once the VGF window is over, like I think 1 year is the VGF window, once the VGF window is over, the flight should still be running on a self-dependent basis. There would be no support required from the government. So, this is on Paradip port. And for small exporters and importers like shrimp manufacturers or say textile people or vegetables, exotic vegetables kind of people, those which has a very good market in Gulf or even in Southeast Asia, they didn't have an airport from Bhubaneswar handling export and import. Our export and import happens through Calcutta airport or Delhi airport or Mumbai airport, then haul all the way from Mumbai to Bhubaneswar, Odisha. So now you will be happy, this I can declare because it has been now ready. Our Bhubaneswar airport has got all statutory permissions, clearances, infrastructure in place to start direct export-import air cargo from 1st of February. Most likely on 31st of January, it would be flagged off by our government and Honorable Minister. So small exporters and importers can take advantage of this. So these are the supporting role that government has to play, and government of Odisha is playing it very well.
Right. So clearly, it seems that the government wants MSMEs and small businesses to not just think on a regional and a national basis, but to look at exports and play on a world stage, right?
Yeah, export is a part of the business, but everybody cannot export. Everybody should not export also. If as an MSME I get more profit in domestic sale, why should I go to export? Export helps the country, might be helping the country, but if it doesn't help me, why should I go to export? My domestic sale could be good enough. So, but we need to have all the facilities for export. The facilities that we would be creating in Viju Patnaik International Airport or Paradip Port, the facilities will be created. It is up to the entrepreneurs to come forward and do export and import business. But other than that, even see what the MSMEs, as Mr. Mandal said, and everybody knows, the MSMEs suffer from 3 major factors. One is access to credit, then delayed payment from their vendors, and high cost of litigation. So these are the 3 problems which are really affecting the Indian MSME sector. So to address this issue, though state government is actively working with the banks and other bodies to increase flow of credit to MSMEs, and that is also happening. As Mr. Mandal said, I have a little different statistics, but same trend only. As you know, every state under the Government of India guideline, under RBI guideline, every state prepares an annual credit plan where the priority sector lending targets are fixed for the banking system. So, what are the main priority sector priority lending sectors? Agriculture, MSME, housing, education loan, etc. So, till 2021-22, in Odisha, agriculture was topping the priority sector lending target. Then MSME was number 2. But you'll be happy to know that from 2022-23, MSME sector lending target has surpassed that of agriculture. That shows that Odisha has now gone to a different orbit. It's no more primarily agrarian, it has shifted to an industrial economy. So in 2022-23, against 54,000 crore of MSME lending target, the banks achieved 59,000 crore roughly. Almost 105%. Seeing the progress for this year, 23-24, the target for MSME has been fixed at 72,000 crore approximately, and I'm sure the banks should overachieve this target. Whereas the agriculture target remains around 58,000 crore. That means now the MSME sector has moved into a different, much higher orbit, and this is the take-off phase where with little bit of support from everybody, MSME sector can phenomenally grow.
Right. Can you highlight some of the financing and the credit provisions that you guys are spearheading or looking at? In fact, you did talk about the the banks in this case.
Yes. One thing is in financing, it is primarily the banks who extend the credit, and the government, both the governments, Government of India and state government, they extend some subsidies. But that is a normal scheme that is going on for ages. But in addition to that, this year we have started a new scheme where the working capital interest is partly reimbursed by the state government. Mr. Mandal spoke about the working capital loan, the CC account and all those things. See, it's a good and bad story both. We have introduced this scheme 2 months back. It is called Chief Minister's Scheme for Reimbursement of Interest to MSMEs. What it says that if your CC limit is within 3 crores, this is for the knowledge of all the MSMEs, this is only applicable to the manufacturing MSMEs, not to service sector MSMEs. If your CC limit is up to 3 crores, then certain percentage of your annual working capital loan interest will be reimbursed by the state government. There are 4 slabs. If the CC limit is up to 10 lakhs, then your entire 100% interest will be reimbursed by Government of Odisha. If it is 10 to 50 lakhs, then 75%. 50 lakhs to 1 crore, 50%. 1 crore to 3 crores, 25%. For example, if my CC limit is, I am a manufacturing industry, my CC limit is 2 crores. Assuming that the rate of interest is around 10%, annually I will pay 20 lakhs. If I draw that much of money from the CC, and if I avail the full limit, assuming that I avail the full limit, I would pay around 20 lakhs of interest to the bank. Because I fall in the 25% slab, so 25% of that means 5 lakhs rupees will be reimbursed by the state government to me. That is the kind of money that will be now injected into the MSME system through this process. We are expecting to inject about 80 to 100 crores in a financial year into manufacturing MSMEs by this process. So this is a new scheme, and this is a direct benefit going to the manufacturing MSMEs, going to the loan account, so it will also help the banking system. Because the money, the government's reimbursement doesn't go to a savings bank account, it goes to the direct loan account of the borrower, the CC limit account. So it helps the bank, it helps the borrower also.
Right. So away from the financing domain, another area that MSMEs really find problems is unnecessary, costly, and complex, lengthy compliance issues. So, what are the kind of regulatory issues that the government is tackling? What are the kind of reforms that we are looking at?
Some reforms have been made under ease of doing business. Those have been done for large industries as well as MSMEs. MSMEs have been demanding for more liberal or relaxed standards or compliances under, say, Factories and Boilers Act, maybe Fire Safety Act, maybe Pollution Control Act, and all those things. Those are on the anvil. It is under discussion stage. Those 3-4 aspects which really affect an MSME, and they want relaxation of the compliance burden on them by amendment of the acts and etc. that are on the discussion stage. Certain things Government of Odisha can do if it is a state act. If it is a central act, Government of Odisha cannot do that. That relaxation cannot be done by the Government of Odisha unilaterally. That has to be done by the Government of India, central government. So we are on the discussion stage. But in addition to these main acts and rules and regulations, other features, suppose if it is a bank credit, then bank generally gives them interest at 2% lesser rate compared to large industries. Similarly, in land, if any MSME asks for IDCO's land, IDCO is an organization which gives land to industries. Land to MSMEs is given at a cheaper cost than that is applicable to large industries. So some relaxations have been done for MSMEs, but the statutory relaxations that they want, that would take little bit of time because we are examining all the legal aspects of that.
Right. So we've all talked about clustering and the need and the advantages of clustering. What are the different kind of clusters that work in Orissa, and how is the government supporting these clusters?
See, there are many different types of clusters in Odisha, and for that matter in every state. It could be like a cashew cluster, it could be like vegetable cluster, it could be like engineering cluster, it could be like cluster of rice mills. So there are many schemes, not necessarily limited to MSME department or MSME ministry only, but like say agriculture and horticulture. If now the farmer producers organizations, that runs on cluster approach. Earlier, somebody is doing paddy here, somebody is doing vegetables there, somebody is doing fruits there. So now both the governments, they are going, no, let's have a cluster approach. Let's take up 3 or 4 or 10 villages which would do only brinjal cultivation or only mango cultivation, so that economy of scale is achieved and some processing factories can come in. Some good marketing strategy can be brought in. So that's into agriculture and horticulture. Coming to MSMEs, we have there are many places in Odisha like Rambha in Ganjam or Brahmagiri in Puri or coastal Odisha, coastal areas of Jagatsinghpur, Baleswar, where a lot of cashew processing plants are there. So these are all small plants, small scale industries, not medium also. And they process the cashews up to a point. Beyond a point, they don't have the machineries, because beyond that point, it needs high cost machineries. So there the need of a common facility center is required. And we have set up with Government of India assistance and state government assistance, we have set up one at Rambha, and we are in the process of setting up at Brahmagiri. Another example is Chaudhar. We have so many engineering MSMEs. They do engineering products up to a level. But because they don't have sophisticated machines, they can't get orders from outside, because their product cannot become that sophisticated. Even you would be surprised to know that ordinary election ballot boxes, of course now we are doing it in EVM, but the panchayat election and municipality election is still done in the ballot box format. So in the last election, when State Election Commission wanted 10,000 new ballot boxes made of a particular kind of normal steel, not a very specialized steel, you would be surprised to know that none of our engineering MSME could do that, because that small, that locking system, that technology was not available with us. That had to be done in Howrah. So ultimately the order had to go to 2-3 fellows in Howrah. Our Odisha fellows could not do that. A small locking system, an intricate design of metal welding and something like that. So now there the need of a common facility center is required. Now we are setting up a common facility center in Chaudhar. About 40 crores of rupees is the investment. Government of India is giving about 20. We are giving about 18 or 19. SPV is giving the remaining. And even a 15 crores machine from Italy is coming. Once that machine, once that CFC starts functioning, which will be, I think within 2-3 months they will start functioning, except that made in Italy machine, which would require about 1 year time to come. With this, now even orders from ISRO can be obtained. Order from ISRO, aerospace can be obtained by our industries. So that is the kind of support that government is required to provide for clusters. Similarly, last example, rice mills. We have so many rice mills in Bargarh, Sambalpur, Baleswar. The simple thing, if you know about rice mill, okay, once rice is taken out, there is a husk. That outer layer of rice is called husk. If you remove the husk, then rice is covered with a thin brownish layer that is called bran. That rice bran is removed. At the time of polishing that rice bran is removed. That bran gives very good bran oil. But that bran oil extraction factory is required to be established nearby so that the bran reaches the factory within the shelf life period of say 12 to 13 hours. But entire Baleswar doesn't have a bran oil factory. So all Baleswar rice millers, what they do, they send it to Calcutta. And that Calcutta fellow gives them a very, throwaway price. You give me this price or take back your truck. Now this fellow cannot bring back his truck because it would be double transportation. So he has to sell it at whatever price the Calcutta party offers. Now we are setting up a CFC as rice bran making oil there. So all 40-50 rice millers would be benefited by this. So similarly, any MSME cluster, a group of MSMEs, 10-15 MSMEs, you can come up with a proposal, and in fact SIDBI does the appraisal for every such CFC, and then we are all ready to fund. Both the government, SIDBI, we are all ready. We want more of such CFCs to come up so that what individually we cannot do, as a collective we can certainly do.
I think that's a wonderful note to, conclude, because we are out of time. What we cannot do individually, I think collectively we can do. Thank you so much for taking us through whatever the government is doing and what we can expect. And I'm sure MSMEs in the house have really benefited from what you had to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll request Shri Mondal to please join us on stage and present the token of gratitude to Shri Mishra on behalf of SIDBI and Economic Times. Thank you so much, Shri Mishra, for those absolutely enlightening words. Orissa today stands out as a state born to shine, and industrial development has a big role to play, so we would like to give Shri Mishra a big thank you for all the commitment and hard work from his side and from all the senior bureaucrats involved. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you, Shri Mondal. Thank you, Shri Borpujari, for making this conversation so insightful and gripping. Can we have another big round of applause? Come on, entrepreneurs. You should be more lively. And setting the context for the next address, if nurturing startups is an art, the one we are going to hear from is definitely the master of it. Why master? He must have a couple of PhD degrees. He is the executive chairman of Startup Orissa, prior to which he was Director General, STPI. He has played a pivotal role in dispersing the ITES industry to Tier 2, Tier 3 cities in India and revolutionizing the tech startup ecosystem in India. He has spearheaded the establishment of 20 COEs in emerging tech. He is actively involved in policy formulations required for the growth of the IT industry. We are honored to have him here. May I request Dr. Omkar Rai to please join us here and share his thought with the House, sir. And I'll request our associate editor to start yet another compelling conversation with the man himself.
Yes. Great to have you with us, Dr. Rai. Let's get to it. What is Startup Orissa all about? What is it that Startup Orissa want to achieve?
So, first of all, let me congratulate Economic Times and SIDBI for organizing this conclave. And I must also express my gratitude for affording an opportunity to Startup Odisha to present its case. So Startup Odisha has been created by Government of Odisha under MSME department to promote the startup ecosystem in the state. If we talk about number, we want to achieve about 5,000 startups by 2025. And to achieve this very mandate, we are taking a number of initiatives. Some of the audience is made from the startup leaders, so and some of the participants may not know it. So for their benefit, I must say that the story of startup ecosystem in this state started with the creation of Odisha Startup Policy 2016, which was also subsequently revised to provide the much needed infrastructure support. The Government of Odisha created its own incubator. It's called OHub, Opportunity Hub, or Odisha Startup Hub, and it is 4 lakhs square feet of space. So, it's one of the largest incubator in the entire country. To also help create other incubators in the state, we have a provision of grant, and we have recognized about 27 incubators by now in the state. So this was all about policy and infrastructure. What do we do with the startups is that we give them grant. It's a kind of monthly allowance grant for a year. Then we also give product development and marketing assistance grant, which is up to 15 lakhs per startup. For those startups who are engaged in serious research where they require longer time and different kind of bill of material and capital expenditure, we consider on case-to-case basis the need-based assistance, which has no ceiling. We also support the incubators indirectly, which comes back to the startup. So it's all about infrastructure and grant that we do. But the leadership from SIDBI is here, and apart from grant, we are also very aware about the fact that the startup ecosystem needs seed support. They also need early venture capital support, and therefore the Government of Odisha decided to create its own fund of fund. We call it Odisha Startup Growth Fund, and this fund is being managed by SIDBI itself. I must correct little bit to the audience that the 100 crore fund that is being talked about is not actually 100 crore. It is 100 crore is the initial allocation and commitment from the government. It's initial allocation. And as soon as SIDBI is able to employ and engage the fund managers, and the commitment from them surpasses 100 crore, soon they can come back to us, and the government has assured that they will allocate more and more fund. So this is a fund unlimited that way. So seed fund, and again I would say that we have started with SIDBI and they have allocated 10 crore seed fund. I will talk about other things. We are also doing outreach. We are trying to sensitize young boys and girls across the state so that they can become the startup of tomorrow. So we are taking a number of initiatives in commensuration with, in accordance with the kind of mandate that has been given, that we want to position the state as one of the top 3 startup destination and to achieve 5,000 startup by 2025.
Right. So as soon as you get your fund managers, there is 100 crores for the taking. So MSMEs in the room, please take notice. So what are the benefits other than the funding that you have talked about? What are the other benefits that MSMEs can derive from being a part of Startup Orissa? Is there an application to be made? What is it that they have to do?
So I would say that the startups, the young boys and girls, or any other entity can make an application to Startup Odisha. That is, there is a process of evaluation, and thereafter they are given registration. Once they are registered with us, they can make an application for these grants that I have just talked about. But apart from that, we are creating a whole ecosystem. It's not that we are only facilitating grant and then implementing fund of fund, and we are the only player in the game. In fact, if you look at the kind of event, the kind of measures that we have taken, we are attracting a lot of VC investors in our ecosystem. And we have conducted a lot of activities in this regard. And uh, some of you must be knowing that we should be very glad also that the equity investment in our startup ecosystem has grown to about 400 crore now. Very recently, it was a news that one of our prominent startup that is called CureBay, they have received 62 crore equity investment just recently. Apart from that, very recently, one startup that is called Larkai, they are into health tech. They also received $500,000. Though it is small. One of our drone-based startup, Bonvi, they have received about 42 crore order for that matter. So these kind of things are happening. We are, apart from the internal support that we are breathing here, the startups have grown, they have matured, and now they are getting market access and they are getting equity investment. And that goes to prove that the health of a startup ecosystem in the state has passed the critical level threshold. And now we are going at a very faster pace.
Right. So, age is also a factor when it comes to entrepreneurship, and you would want to, inculcate the spirit of entrepreneurship in youth of the state. How is that panning out for Startup Orissa?
Yeah, I mentioned at the very initial talk that what we are doing just recently in I think September this year, we launched a Startup Yatra, a Startup Express. The Yatra was meant for the students from the higher educational institution, and the Yatra Express was meant for the school students. The purpose behind launching this Yatra, which has already covered all 30 districts, 200 educational institutions, has reached to about 35,000 students, has attracted about 4,400 ideas by now. So all these things has happened because we believe that we have to reach to every nook and corner of this state. Not only we are required to tell the young boys and girls, students, that these are the benefits that are available to them. Not only that, we are to brief them, familiarize them with the kind of incentive program, other things are available to them, but also to instill in them the ideation process through pitching sessions that we held, through boot camps that we organized. So we are also instilling the ideation culture among the young boys and girls across the state. During this Yatra and Express, we have found that the young boys and girls from Kalahandi, from Malkangiri, and so many other remotest part of this state, young boys and girls have actually come forward and they have ideated and pitched. And we have found that their pitching, their ideas are very worth. And now we have selected 100 ideas out of that. They are being given acceleration program. And finally, they will get incentive benefits. Apart from 20 startups, 20 ideas will be finally rewarded at the end of dignitaries by the state. So these are the things. So the idea is that we want to be inclusive and we want to create an outreach across the state, so that you talked about tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So in our state, there are places which are very far flung and lot of accessibility issue. So we want to be totally equitable. We want to be very inclusive, and we want to take the ecosystem to the doorstep and to every younger boys and girl, wherever they are operating from, wherever they are studying.
Right. So are you sector agnostic? Is it, are there specific types of companies that Startup Orissa likes or look at, or is it open to anyone?
Come again?
Are you sector agnostic when it comes to entrepreneurship, or is it certain specific type of industry or sectors that Startup Orissa is looking at?
So, as such, we are sector agnostic, and all 1,800 startups come from varied sector. But obviously, the strength and weakness of a state is also reflected in the number of startups we have, the kind of domain we are growing. Apart from, the knowledge sector, IT sector based startups, we are doing well in agriculture, food processing sector startup, biotech sector startup. You know that we are we are the largest metallurgy-based industry in this state, and we also have a startup in the metallurgy sector, chemical sector. So the idea is that even though we are sector agnostic, we are also very careful and aware about the fact that every sector or domain requires a very different kind of handholding and specialized support. So while being agnostic in terms of extending the incentives and benefit, we are working with incubators and focusing on sector-specific domain also.
Okay. So you've had a long established career with dealing with entrepreneurs, earlier with SCPI and now. According to you, what should be the institutional and policy setup where both, domestic and international, business can happen? So what do you think should be the ideal approach? Mr. Mishra talked about some of the initiatives that the state government is talking about. What should be our ideal approach here?
If I understand your question correctly, then I would say that the startups, the MSMEs have to be world class in terms of their vision and technology, and they must solve their local problem. At the same time, there should be a platform to afford the knowledge and startups, MSMEs from all across the world, not only from the country, to transact with the local startups for the exchange of knowledge, best practices, for making meaningful connection. And that is why the kind of initiative in the state we are taking, I just would like to mention that the state of Odisha is very futuristic. It's a very aspiring state in terms of taking initiative. So the point is that at this juncture, the state is taking initiative which are not very incremental in nature. They are transformatory in nature. And therefore, we are trying to position in the state as a leading state in terms of digital fabrication. We want to become the leader in terms of fab culture, digital fabrication, maker culture. So that will happen only when we collaborate with the national and international players, the startup. We believe that, we all know that one of the major challenges that startups and MSME face is market access, apart from other bottlenecks and impediments. So the market access is something where corporates are the big player. We are taking measures to make the state of Odisha as a major player in digital corporate investment platform, so that the startups from across the country gravitate towards state for want of this market access that we are going to provide. And they would in turn help this state prosper from their investment, their businesses, and their knowledge. So these are the things that I must say that the collaborations has to happen, the exchange of knowledge has to happen, the best practices have to be interchanged and shared, and we have to grow collaboratively so that the pace, the growth happens at a very collaborated manner, and that becomes a cumulative growth or a kind of collaborative growth, which is usually better than the isolated growth.
Right. I think that's a wonderful way to end this conversation, where Orissa as a state is looking at a transformative approach. But again, I spoke with Mr. Mishra, that we need a collaborative approach and cannot happen at an individual level. Thank you so much, Dr. Rai. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
May I request our Deputy Managing Director to please join us here and present a small token of gratitude to Dr. Rai. Shimondal, please. And thank you so much, Dr. Rai, for all those wonderful words that will encourage our startup enthusiasts and the MSMEs to go farther than they originally think they will. Thank you for all the support towards Startup Orissa, for making Orissa a state that actually takes care of the entrepreneurs. Can we have a louder round of applause for Startup Orissa and Dr. Rai? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Shimondal, for doing the honor. Well, how well we take care of our startup and our MSMEs, so well that our micro today is enthusiast to become small soon, and the small is looking forward to be medium. Can we have a round of applause for the sector, for MSMEs and all the startups who are so well connected to each other and to Government of Orissa. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, SIDBI has recently released several large value loans to enterprises in Odisha. Some of these businesses will be given symbolic term loan checks and sanction letters. For the first set of distribution of checks, may I request Shri Saswat Mishra and Shri Sudatta Mandal to please join us on stage. A gesture of showing support to the entrepreneurs who have worked hard deserve to be given checks so that they grow bigger tomorrow. I'll request the owner proprietor of Rashmi Furnishing to please join us on stage. It's a proprietary unit promoted by Shri Bibhushan Pradhan, a dynamic and young entrepreneur engaged in the area of manufacturing wooden furniture since more than a decade. The firm has approached SIDBI for term loan for its expansion project. SIDBI has disbursed a term loan of 210 lakh under a RISE scheme to the firm. Congratulations, and may this check give you more enthusiasm and support to grow bigger and make Government of Orissa SIDBI proud in future. Congratulations, Rashmi Furnishing. Thank you and congratulations. Innotech Packaging Private Limited, may I request someone from your side to please join us on stage. It started its operation in the year 2013 and engaged into manufacturing of packaging products. Shri Prashant Kumar Das and his wife, Srimati Sasmita Mishra, are actively involved in the business. The company had approached SIDBI for a term loan of its expansion project, and we are disbursing the amount 150 lakh out of the sanctioned term of 675 lakh under a RISE scheme to the company. Congratulations, Innotech Packaging Private Limited. This is your chance to do what you always wanted to be, bigger than what you are currently, and SIDBI definitely has got your back. The next beneficiary is Texofin Private Limited. It's a startup running under the brand name Let's Drive and is delivering e-vehicle on rental basis in Bhubaneswar and Cuttack since 2020. The company is promoted by directors Shri Ankur Patel and Ms. Santwana Sanganika and Anirban Mohanty and Priyadarshini Pradhan. They are working to bring in cleaner modes of transportation with long-term bike rental plans. SIDBI has disbursed an amount 97 lakh out of the sanctioned term of 180 lakh to the company for its expansion project for procurement of e-bikes and tracking devices. Your commitment to keep the planet green is definitely praiseworthy. Wishing you more luck for future. Congratulations, and I definitely was expecting a bigger round of applause for the entrepreneurs who are working really hard. Congratulations once again, Texofin Private Limited. May your e-bikes reach everywhere they need to be. Crab International is the next beneficiary. It's a partnership firm set up in 2018 by 4 partners and is engaged in manufacturing magnetic tape. Can I have the proprietors on stage, the partners? The chief partner, Shri Ashish Kumar Rungta, is having business experience of 20 years. SIDBI has disbursed an amount of 156 lakh out of the sanctioned term loan of 282 lakh under a RISE scheme for the company's expansion. Congratulations, Crab International. Magnetic tape definitely sounds futuristic. May you grow with the term loan amount, and we're looking forward to see bigger successes and more support from SIDBI family. Congratulations. Congratulations once again. The next beneficiary is Unique Packaging. May I request the owner to please join us on stage. It's a front runner in packaging industry in Bhubaneswar, has been running its business since more than a decade. The firm is promoted by a young entrepreneur, Saurav Kumar Mahapatra, who under the active guidance of his father, Sunil Mahapatra, has planned for expansion of his operation by the way of setting up another unit. SIDBI has disbursed an amount of 115 lakh out of sanctioned term loan of 600 lakh under direct credit scheme. Congratulations. Unique Packaging, stay unique. Get your expansion, dream bigger, and SIDBI definitely is here to support you. The second generation entrepreneurs definitely are shining bright with the experience of the first generation and definitely dreaming bigger to ensure that the family is making Orissa proud. Congratulations once again, Unique Packaging. And in the list of beneficiaries, the next name is Sonthalia Rice Mill. It's a registered partnership firm, started its operation in 2008. The firm has 3 partners who belong to the same family. Saurav Agarwal as the chief partner. The firm is engaged in paddy processing and milling activities. The firm had approached SIDBI for a term loan of its solar project. SIDBI has disbursed an amount of 225 lakh out of the sanctioned term loan of 251 lakh under 4E financing scheme. A solar project for an organization that has been into rice milling is definitely futuristic. They're taking one step ahead to ensure that the business grows. And SIDBI definitely promotes such entrepreneurs who have futuristic ideas and the hard work and commitment to go for it. Congratulations. And thank you so much, Shri Mishra, for doing the honors. City Model, please stay back. We have few more honors to be given. And receiving their check from esteemed Principal Secretary, MSME, and Deputy Managing Director, SIDBI definitely will encourage these entrepreneurs. Can we have a round of applause for those who received their checks? And we are going for the next set of distribution, that is letter of sanction. And may I request Dr. Omkar Rai to please join us on stage and do the honors this time. Thank you so much, Mishra, for joining us here. It was a great pleasure to hear from you. On stage, we have Dr. Omkar Rai, and I'll request Utkal Specialty Industries India Private Limited to please join us on stage. It was established in 2021. It is a growing company specializing in the manufacturing of paper cups, paper plates, etc. under the brand name Shiv Star. The company has proposed under the able guidance of Director Shri Manoj Kumar Agarwal. It is a privileged customer of SIDBI and has been sanctioned a term loan of 75 lakh under privileged customer scheme. Congratulations. Looking at a young entrepreneur who has big dreams in his eyes is definitely a treat for the eyes to see such people. In Orissa especially, the next beneficiary is Mahanadi Polymer Private Limited, promoted by Shri Srijay Naik, a new age entrepreneur. He has recently completed his studies and entered into MSME space by the way of setting up a new company. The promoter has approached SIDBI for financial assistance for setting up a new unit for manufacturing of HDPE PP pipes. SIDBI has sanctioned a term loan of 620 lakh along with working capital limit of 300 lakh. Congratulations, Mahanadi Polymer Private Limited. Building the right pipes is building the nation strong. Congratulations, may you go a long way. The next recipient for letter of sanction is Universal Chemical and Pharmaceutical Industries. It's a proprietary concern promoted by Shri Rajendra Prasad Sharma. The firm is engaged in manufacturing of allopathic medicines since 1989 and serving the pharma industry since last 24 years. SIDBI has sanctioned a term loan of 167 lakh. Congratulations, Universal Chemicals and Pharmaceutical Industries. Keeping the premises, people, good, healthy, strong is definitely a big motto for an organization, and SIDBI is more than happy to support you. Ansh Agroplast is the next name of the beneficiary. Can we have someone from the company? It's a greenfield unit promoted by Shri Nishikanta Panigrahi. Is engaged in manufacturing of multi-purpose shade net and mulch films. The promoter has recently quit his job and ventured into entrepreneurship by way of setting up the unit. SIDBI has sanctioned a term loan of 110 lakh along with working capital limit of 10 lakh to the firm. That needs a lot of courage to quit a high-paying job, to chase your dreams, to see the hurdles, the other side of the blanket, but some people are bright enough to do it. Congratulations on Agroplast, and thank you so much, gentlemen, for doing the honor. May we request everyone to give a round of applause to Shri Mandal and Dr. Rai for giving away those letter of sanction. And for everyone who received it, may I request you all to give a bigger round of applause. It's a new beginning for them, wishing them all the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hear from someone very special who has years of experience and expertise and is the right person to talk about how you can grow with all the opportunities SIDBI gives you. Shri Arup Kumar has spent almost 3 decades with SIDBI, where he has handled direct finance operations in different capacities in several geographies. Besides stints in policy verticals relating to credit, risk management, and stressed and NPA management in the past, he has also headed the treasury and resources management of the bank. Before coming to Kolkata last year, he was heading SFMC and NBFC vertical, and with special focus on supporting the mid and small-sized NBFCs and NFIs and the nano finance segment. Currently, Mr. Kumar heads the east and the northeast zones of SIDBI, covering 13 states, and supports the MSMEs through direct and indirect channels of assistance, including support to the state government for MSME infrastructure creation and promotion and development activities. May I request you, sir, to please share your thoughtful insights for the House. Shri Arup Kumar.
Good evening to everyone. Thanks for the kind introduction. All of you, you have already heard the MC very lucidly talking about the event. The editor from ET, Mr. Bor Pujari, giving his take, ET's take about MSMEs. Mr. Mishra talking about what the state is doing for the MSMEs, and it was really very insightful. Dr. Omkar Rai talked about startup. Before the meeting, we were discussing the blurring distinctions between MSMEs and startup effectively, especially in the eastern and northeastern part. And DMD, our DMD, Mr. Mandal, talked at length what all we are doing for the MSMEs and taking time to pause at every aspect of it, giving some more details for you to have better understanding. SIDBI came into existence in 1990 by an act of parliament, 1947-1990. So why so? Why was there a need for SIDBI? We all understand. Before that, industrialization was happening, and support by Government of India and state government and agencies involved in providing all the supports, including credit, was going to the bigger ones with the understanding of trickle-down theory, going down, helping the ancillary and the smaller ones. That being debunked, economists, they have accepted this, and thereafter there was a felt need for having a specific comprehensive support mechanism And so SIDBI was created by an Act of Parliament in 1990 to take care of MSMEs. We are the apex institution for promoting, financing, and developing the MSMEs in the country, and to coordinate the activities of all those institutions in the country engaged in promoting, financing, and development. The MSMEs, we all talked about the relevance of it. What is MSME? If you see the entire spectrum of economic activities, on the one hand, we have agri and livestock sector. On the other hand, it is large industries. Anything between is MSME. So, large industries, we all aspire, all the industries aspire to be, as she was saying, the growth path from micro to small to medium to large. That doesn't need any support. The agri side, agri and livestock, that is very critical for any country, any society, and that is being catered to by different institutional support. For this MSME, SIDBI was brought in being. That time it was the name SIDBI, Small Industry Development Bank of India, because that time the concept was SSI, Small Scale Industries. Realizing the need mainly in the 90s and thereafter, realizing the importance of service sector and understanding the entire gamut. It's not just SSI, it is much more wider. The MSMED Act came into being in 2006, where micro, small, and medium enterprises, the manufacturing as well as services, were brought in one legislation for better support coming from all the stakeholders. Yeah, thanks. So, we have already talked about what type of number we have. So, what is MSME? Why this is needed? We are seeing. The type of contribution it is making to the country's GDP, the type of contribution it is making to exports, to the job creation, as also the type of diversity it has, the type of inclusiveness it has in terms of the number of women being part of this sector. This has all the flavors in terms of traditional MSMEs. Probably most of us, we are today here from that sub-segment. Startup and modern, Dr. Omkar Roy talked about, and most of us are aware of this. And the informal sector, which incidentally, if you had seen, the unregistered informal micro entities are 80%. The earlier figure of 6.33 crore, which is in the range of 8 crore or so, 80% is there in unregistered informal segment. So, knowing the importance of MSMEs, SIDBI was set up, and we have been, for the last 33 years, we have been trying to nurture MSMEs, mainly through MSME ecosystem build-up and gap interventions. What I mean to say is, we realized what exactly ails this sector. And we tried having intervention strategy one by one, taking care of, for example, the Delayed Payment Act was talked about, delayed payments as a challenge was talked about, and Government of India has been toying it with many interventions. Delayed Payment Act was there, even MSMED Act, the state level facilitation council, all these things are there to take care of that. Early in the beginning itself, 91, 92, some of you, if you may remember, SIDBI came out with DDS component scheme, which was basically Mexican model reverse factoring, where we brought the smaller supplier vendors of bigger units, how their bills can be discounted, and how we make the payments to the vendors without waiting for the payments to come from the larger purchaser to the vendors or suppliers, we started that scheme. Why I am saying this? This is one of the products which any bank can do. But what we did in 91, 92, 93, 20, 25 years later, you have seen trades taking a form. Reserve Bank of India making it as a scheme where there is a platform for trade receivable exchange. This is what SIDBI has been doing all through. Mid-90s, it was realized that credit flow is very important to the sector, for any sector, but it's not happening because the MSMEs, those who have aspirations, they have plans, viable plans, but then they don't have collateral security to offer, and they were starved of the credit supply. So with Ministry of MSME and SIDBI joint hand, we set up Credit Guarantee Trust. Since then, we all know CGTMSE doesn't need any introduction. That is integral part of all the MSMEs getting credit supply from all across. Going forward, we also realized equity type of support, someone talked about. We set up SVCL, SIDBI Venture Company Limited. That is one of the, I think, earliest entities set up in public sector space to take care of venture support. Those who are from that time would recollect such concepts were very foreign in our country. That time we thought about that which way we can provide equity type of support to this sector. So institutional finance is one thing which from day one we did. SIDBI and NABARD, we are called refinancing institutions. Also, reason being that we have been providing finance to all the credit suppliers, that is banks. Going forward, we have added the NBFCs, the MFIs. We are providing support to them, all these commercial banks, private sector banks, foreign banks, we are providing support to them so that they can on-lend. They have the availability of resources, financial resources, they can on-lend to the MSMEs. This support we have been giving since beginning. The color of it, the extent of it, the breadth of it in terms of eligible institutions and all has been increasing ever since. Direct credit in mid-90s we started doing, not because we felt the need initially. It was the demand from all the associations that the SFCs, that time term lending institutions, for the smaller ones, were not probably filling the gap properly. And so we started giving. It was amidst a lot of challenges, but SIDBI was allowed to start doing direct lending for some specific sectors like export-oriented, import substitutive, environment-friendly. Some 3-4 things were allowed for us to do direct lending. I'm just sharing the journey. Some of you today we met, they shared that since beginning they have been with SIDBI, they would realize, they would recollect what type of challenges we faced so that we are able to make things available, whatever you needed, including direct credit through the branch network which we had that time, one in one state, and branch banking only. With that, we continued doing that. DMD Mr. Mandal talked about green finance, what we are doing, cluster development, venture capital I talked about, credit guarantee. Policy advocacy is a thing which we have been doing for our internal policy as also various state level and central level intervention plans. Reserve Bank of India regulator, the FIDT, we are closely associated with them in terms of formulating. Even DMD talked about Prayas scheme. RBI made something available. They keep on doing this to us in terms of experimenting some new thing so that later it becomes mainstreamed. But not only this, even international players also, they have shown interest in associating and partnering with us. And policy advocacy has gone through them to other parts of the world also. Digital initiative is what the present management, our chairman and DMDs, they are focused for the last 2-3 years. We have complete transformation in terms of leveraging technology and using technology, not only for internal operation and efficiency. Someone was sharing today daytime, lightning speed. It's figurative, indeed, but then this is what our support to the sector has become at lightning speed. But at the same time, it's not just limited to that, it's for the sector that we are making things available. Whatever we are doing, like DMD talked about, even in the context of GST side, the architecture, what has been made available to the banks. Other things also, whatever we are doing, we are making things available to all the banks. If we talk about digital enablers, you would recollect there was a Stand Up India scheme announced by Government of India. That was every bank branch would give one loan to SC, ST and one loan to women. That was, and minimum amount was kept as 10 lakh, not that for the sake of doing something, something is given. For that, SIDBI was requested by the ministry that we make some portal where these all things are facilitated. And most of you probably know that Udyami Mitra portal came after that Stand Up India portal we created for the ministry, and after seeing that, RBI and government officials felt that there should be some universal loan portal. Stand Up India was meant only for the stand up program. So similar thing, they said that this is a really good thing, we should be making it for all the types of loan, and so we developed Udyami Mitra portal. And just see the credentials, what that portal has achieved and is achieving. All the bank branches, all the commercial banks, they are on this portal. There are community centers all there who would be providing hand-holding services to these borrowers. Borrowers from any corner of the country, they can go and apply. Government programs are being run. PM Swanidhi, we know, that is being run through this. PM Vishwakarma scheme, recently launched, and very ambitious scheme of Government of India, is being run on this platform. 50 lakh micro units have been supported under that program, is on this platform. OPL, which DMD also talked about in a different context, PSB loans in 59 minutes, you would remember when it was launched, under 59 minutes loan sanction. This is what it is, and we are co-promoter of this. We supported the credit marketplace where quick loan offers, all the major lenders are part of this portal, and it is using AI/ML based algo. It is incidentally being used by many banks for their custom tailored products also. For their own captive use, they are customizing this and using. Additionally, this platform is also managing Jan Samarth and Jan Suraksha platform. Udyam Assist at length, DMD, Mr. Mandal has talked about. This is an effort of government all across to formalize. We all understand the need of formalization. Unless until we know how many people are going to come, we can't plan anything. If we plan for 100 and 200 or 400 are there to come in, the entire things go haywire. And that is what we don't know for policy formulation, for infra creation, for support services, everything we need to have understanding of how many are there. Apart from the obvious benefits or needs for having formalization in place. So this is what, when Government of India talked about creating some identifier, which was Udyam registration certificate, and RBI as a regulator taking that as the sole criteria for making loans eligible under PSL. And banks, naturally, the credit flow happens. Why PSL is there, priority sector lending direction is there from RBI to all the banks, because this is the way for the government and RBI to make sure that the adequate credit supply happens to the needy sector, which is agri, in SMEs, MSMEs, and all those things. that if is removed, banks don't have much incentive. I would not say it would not happen. They would not have much incentive to have credit flow to this sector. When this was removed, there was real crisis because banks were not very willing to extend loan to those who are not coming under PSL. And that was removed. Entity was there, but removed because of this guideline of government that URC would be the mandatory thing for it to be classified as PSL. SIDBI, as per our mandate, as per our role, as DMD sir said, we took this upon us. Our management had numerous meetings with ministry in terms of finding a solution, because as you have seen in the first and second slide, 80% informal. All those entities would be outside of this ambit. And so we worked very hard, and this I would say is understatement, to get to this level that finally Ministry of MSME signed MOU with SIDBI, and we are running this portal, and the volume is already shared, and this is increasing. Every state government now is talking about this in terms of the importance of Udyam Assist platform for financial inclusion. And this is, we are making it further better in terms of with experience, because it is where the banks and all the PLIs, they have to push this. So state governments are very keen. We are meeting with them to make them understand. They want something to be done so that they also come into this in terms of pushing the banks to onboard more and more expeditiously. Because their programs also are on this basis. Their subsidies are also coming through this. Although it is not mandatory, but then naturally for comfort's sake, they have made this as a criteria. We talked about green finance. We have been doing about green financing 4E. You saw one check was under 4E, end to end. So while this talks about just the slide on this, we are focusing on ESG framework in entirety. Even the social stock exchange which is coming, we were initially the part of that team which was making the ground rules and things like that, so that the environment and social and governance framework is completely embedded in the all the MSMEs, because going forward this would be an important determinant for you to be in the value chain. The sooner the better you adopt these things, and we are trying to do our bit. The finance as a DFI, first thing is finance. So this is what we are doing for the financing part. Other interventions in the promotion and development initiatives also is ongoing. We are trying to take care of that also. Clusters, DMD also talked about that. Mr. Mishra also talked about that. Cluster, we understand the importance of it. A bit of background on this. For the last almost 30 years, for rural infrastructure, there has been one fund called RIDF, Creating Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, which was used to give loans to all the state governments, support soft loan, so that they are able to create the rural infrastructure for agriculture, for other things related to agri. Some years back, there was a felt need for creating infrastructure support mechanism for the MSMEs also, because while agri is the largest employment provider, MSME is second, but the multiplier effect of MSME is larger in terms of employment, capital formation and everything. And so that recommendation from UK Sinha committee came, Government of India accepted, RU was as advised, and they set up this fund called SCDF, which our DMD was talking about. And I am happy to share that Odisha was the first state which showed a lot of enthusiasm. That was just pre-COVID time, and the entire bureaucracy, we used to talk over VC associated with this, whether finance department or MSME, They were very, very gung-ho about this, and they were the first state, subsequently also post-COVID also, to avail this fund from us. And today also, I think the quantum of our resistance under SCDF is largest to the state of Odisha. Already DMD talked about further plans, which is really very great. And this is what we are trying to do for creation of infrastructure. It's not just hard, it's not just in terms of what number it's going to create. The type of projects they are bringing is very indicative of being very thoughtful. The hostel facilities for the women workers in the areas which are far-flung but having MSME cluster. So this indicates their thoughtfulness about having comprehensive view and inclusive view. Supporting startup and venture capital, I have already touched upon, and Mr. Mandal also talked about in greater detail. Digital public infrastructure, for paucity of time, I was discussing there is time overrun. So, but then we all understand what is happening world over. It's a matter of pride for us to be in such a situation that world, so-called the developed economies, advanced economies, tech-based advanced countries, they look up to us for what we have created in last 6, 7, 8 years. Identity, we know, Aadhaar, PAN, all those things are, we all know what is happening and what efficiency it is bringing in the banking setup. Elsewhere, the requirement was initially very different. It was in terms of having identity for individuals, which any government would like to have. There were many models tried. Finally, this succeeded. At the same time, this was used for subsidy and other things also. But at the same time, this has been used by our regulator as one of the important aspects of KYC, facilitating credit flow using this, and so it is bringing efficiency to the banking setup. Payment system, all the banks basically are intermediary for deposit and lending, and second is payment. First two, so payment system also we all know. In G20 also we would have read what it is doing to us. Data sharing, account aggregator, credit bureau, what role it has played, most of us understand. This has basically enabled all the bankers to confidently lend. In absence of this, before Civil Act was passed, credit bureau were not there. What was happening? We were grappling with information asymmetry. At least in the context of credit track record, this brought things on the table for all to understand what is the position and what decision to take. Similarly, other things, GST brings to the table what DMD Mr. Mandal talked about, the type of information which otherwise information asymmetry is for multiple reasons, but things are now changing. Everything is available now on the tech stack, which all the lenders and all the stakeholders can make use of, and then whatever support one can give, will give. Now, Prayas scheme, missing middle. SIDBI as apex institution, we don't have the wherewithals to do what a rural bank would do, or even a commercial bank would do. Neither the mandate nor the bandwidth. But to say that mandate is not there is not truly correct. Mandate is there. Which way to do is our job, and this is what we kept on experimenting. Around 20 years back or 18 years back, we tried giving micro enterprise loan to individuals directly. We tried. Why? Because we felt the need for it. We failed miserably. Because one branch in one state or 2 or 3 can't take care of the smaller ticket size loans spread across and do the follow-on monitoring what it requires. So we failed. We again tried into 2007-8 in a different segment, building some mechanism, learning from the earlier experience. That also subsequently could not succeed that well. Around 6, 7 years back, Learning from those experiences, we created this model. And when I am saying that we tried 18 years back, then 14 years back, whatever we try, the way we tried in 92, 93, this also is towards that. While we are trying to do this, we are trying to showcase to the other mainstream lending sector that this model whereby we can give to individual micro entrepreneur a loan in the range of 50,000 to 10 lakh at a rate which a 50 lakh loan borrower would get. This is what we are trying to do in terms of showcasing this, as also mastering the entire architecture, the entire flow, and making it available to the industry, the digital flow, the BREs and all those things, so that others also can be encouraged, can be motivated to come in this space, the other lenders, and do this. We started with a pilot project. We had realized in the earlier failures that we need partners. So we took on board a partner. From the second experiment, we realized partner was there, but some more things were to be added. We added those things also, but we were not very sure. We experimented with not-for-profit entities initially. Then we did the all India rollout with the for-profit, because unless until this is made for-profit and a commercial venture, it's not going to get mainstream. This would remain a baby of SIDBI running in a manner which is slightly developmental and not purely commercial. So we did this. We even experimented with non-financial intermediaries also. All those things we did, and today Mr. Mandal has already shared what type of support we are providing under this program of SIDBI Prayas, where we are having partner institutions which are MFIs, banking correspondent, aggregators, and technology. It is end-to-end complete technology using MRBRE. We are running this and extending the credit to the people who are in this range of 50,000 to 10 lakh. This is the upper segment, two segments of Mudra loan, which Government of India is also trying through the public sector banks, providing Mudra loan, second tier and third tier. GST Sahaya has been much talked about, even otherwise. So when we talk about DDS component and threats, that was taking care of one segment. The other segment remained uncovered, and this probably will take care of the entire segment in entirety. All of us will get benefited once shortly we are going to launch this, and this would be made available to the entire fraternity. So this is just one example. My colleague GM Pramod Vijayvargiya, when he comes, he will be talking about more about the schemes we are offering. This is on high level what SIDBI is doing and what we are trying to bring on table with the evolving need of the sector, leveraging technology to the fullest, and whatever we have learnings from outside, that also we have tried bringing here from time to time. Institutional building is what we have been trying. We are still in the process in terms of when we say that we are co-promoter of one OPL. So it is that we are trying to do. CGTMSE is one with MSME Ministry. There is another which is called NCGTC, which most of you would know ECLGS during COVID time. Whatever money was given by all the banks, that was supported, guaranteed by Government of India through NCGTC. So all these entities we are associated with, and we are running and providing whatever services MSMEs need. Quickly, ONDC, just in short I'll cover to make you understand. Most of you know what is ONDC. So this is, we are trying to democratize the e-commerce space. Presently we know Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, some others have come. All these entities we are very comfortable with as a consumer. But as a seller, there are too many restrictions. Some commission, which is quite substantial, is being charged by those players. So if you see overall industry also, quite a few, I would say very few are on this digital commerce space in India as compared to what is there in the global market. So already that is happening with the tech development, that is already there. But at the same time, what we felt is needed for our country, where we have already seen all the tech stack I talked about being made available for all of us in a manner which is too simple and in a manner which is very cheap, so that this vast country with diverse levels benefit out of that. This is an effort in the e-commerce space that the country as a whole we are trying to achieve through ONDC. Any transaction is, technical name may be many, but then it is B2C and B2B, the consumer or between B2B. Many the micro and small, some medium also may be into B2C also. But majority I feel is B2B. You would be supplying to some different industry for their intermediate consumption and final product. In that, the penetration you are seeing, it's quite low against 20% of world average. We have just 1.5%. So this has been designed to take care of the problems of existing marketplaces we have in the country presently. So choices are limited, the policies are restrictive, the charges are exorbitant. To take care of this, this is what ONDC is trying to create, and it is already in operation in a limited way though, because traction would come when all of us would join. So we have this ONDC where sellers and consumers, buyers, producers and consumers, they all join, and it is going to be open as the name says. You have your own setup, you have your own network created. That network can straight away come and join. The idea they have, the team which is working on ONDC, is really revolutionary. It would not be just the sale and things like that, buying and selling. It would be in terms of even logistics. Whosoever wants whatever, in whatever size, not full container. So all those things over a period of time would come here and would be available to all of us in the country to make use of that. So all the commodities, all the services, everything going forward is going to come. At the same time, I would suggest that all of you start trying for your respective products, because the moment you join this, you get access to whatever buyers are already there on this. At the same time, when you join there, you are also able to see what type of procurements you do, whether something is there available. And this is much better than, once you start using this, much better than what you would see in Amazon seller registration and other. I've heard that maybe they are also trying to join this to gain from whatever this platform has to offer. So this is some of the examples of what is happening at the moment, who all are there. So with this, thank you very much. And I'm very, very hopeful that our efforts to bring you all here, listening to such senior people, the MD has come from Bombay, and Principal Secretary and Startup Chairman, must have given you good ideas. Whatever I try sharing with you in terms of what is happening, because once you know, you would be able to make use of that. Appreciation happens only after understanding, and with appreciation, you would be able to make use of those things. So with this hope, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I request my friend, General Manager, Economic Times, Shri Jaideep Ghosh, to please join us on stage and present a small token of gratitude to Shri Arup Kumar for those wonderful words. Thank you very much, sir, for the detailed presentation that talks about the commitment of SIDBI to the entrepreneurs of the country, especially to Odisha. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to entrepreneurs, everyone is a different case study, everyone has a different struggle, different skill sets. The only thing common is their will to fight against all odds and win. Having said that, at this absolutely one-of-its-kind platform, we are bringing the entrepreneurs, the support system, and the government together so that they can share their perspectives, talk about their problems, and be on the same page as to how to grow and shine brighter. It's time for the panel discussion. I'll request Sumona Karji Mishra, founder, Prantai Solutions; Divya Malik, co-founder and CEO, Type Of; Gyanu Ranjan Das, founder, Inocule Materials and Additives; Ashok Kumar Sharda, Honorary Secretary, the Utkal Chamber of Commerce and Industry; and Subhash Kumar Sahu, Assistant Director, MSME DFO Cuttack, to please join us on stage. And to moderate this wonderful session, I'll request once again our Associate Editor, Shri Bort Pujari, to take the initiative and bring this session to life. And in this panel discussion, we will be talking about innovation and collaboration, MSME clusters in Orissa, a catalyst for success. Can we have a round of applause for the panelists and the moderator, everyone? I'll request Shri Ashok Kumar Sharda, Shri Subhash Kumar Sahu, Shri Gyanu Ranjan Das, Divya Malik, and Sumona Karji Mishra to be on stage, the panelists for this discussion on innovation and collaboration, MSME clusters in Odisha, a catalyst for success, to be moderated by our Associate Editor.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Let's get straight to the questions. And Gyan Ranjan, if I can start with you first. You're in the manufacturing, you're a manufacturing company in the mineral space. How did being in Orissa help you coming up with this, different specialty chemicals?
For any business, we need four things, right? Raw material, market, and then people, money. So For us, money is like, money you can get it from everywhere in India. Then people, I think Bhubaneswar is a good place because a lot of educational institutes and we can get good people. Then then for a core industry, it can be near to the raw material or you can be near to the market. So for us, we are near to the market, and that's how we are here. But at the same time, it's not a chemical hub. So we are proud that we thought we'll do it take it some initiative and start something here. And that's how we're doing, hopefully.
When did you start your company and what's your background?
I am a chemical engineer. I worked in Indian Oil for some time before starting this. So we started in 2014. 2014, and so it's almost 2015. So we started. So that's how.
Right. Divya, if I can come to you now. This is mine. Yeah. So you, on the other hand, help companies set up their e-commerce stores. But what is it like to run an online business from Orissa? And we know, there's an ecosystem for such businesses in, say, a Bangalore or a Gurgaon. But what is it like here?
Yeah, so we have we can say that the ecosystem is the tech ecosystem is not here it is growing currently, right? So we know that in the Bangalore, Gurgaon, there are a lot of ecosystem on the tech side as well. But Odisha is more of a cultural, rich in culture, heritage, and the best part is you will get the people, as Gyanu said, that you will get the people very easily for your business to grow and make the things happen for your business.
So technology talent has not been an issue for you?
Technology challenge is there, as we need good tech people in the industry for the business. But definitely the emerging entrepreneurs coming up, and people are coming to Odisha to build what they want to build, not only from the Gurgaon or the Bangalore side. So yeah, with the recent studies also, we had seen that Odisha is becoming the IT hub, the next IT hub, one can say. So that's how the business is changing, and the tech side is coming up more of the, it is leveraging, you can say, yeah.
Right. So I think when it comes to technology, one good thing is that location really does not matter, maybe.
Yeah.
So Mr. Shada, if I can come to you, tell us more about the Utkal Chamber of Commerce. What are the aims and objectives, and what are the achievements?
नमस्कार, मेरा थ्रोट थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, सॉरी फॉर दिस. इन अ लाइटर वेन मैं अपना रोल बता दूं आपको, क्योंकि बड़ा सीरियसली आप लोग बात कर रहे, सब इतना सीरियस बातें सुन रहे थे, तो मैं बोलता, जब नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि बच्चा रोता है तो मदर को याद आता है कि बच्चे को कोई तकलीफ़ है, तभी उसके ऊपर ध्यान जाता है. तो ऐसे ही एमएसएमई की जब तकलीफ़ होती है तो हम पिक्चर में आते हैं, हमारा एसोसिएशन पिक्चर में आता है, उत्कल चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स इंडस्ट्रीज़. और उनके वो रोने का तरीका अलग है, वो रोता है, हम थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में रोते हैं. हम गवर्नमेंट के पास जब जाते हैं तो उसका एक फॉर्मेट बनाते हैं कि क्या तकलीफ़ है हमें, किस इंडस्ट्री को क्या प्रॉब्लम है, एंड हाउ टू प्रेजेंट इट एट ए राइट फॉरम, सो दैट उसकी बात सुनी जाए. अगर उसको बैंक से रिलेटेड है तो बैंक के पास जाते हैं, गवर्नमेंट की से रिलेटेड है, पॉलिसी प्लानर से रिलेटेड है, पॉलिटिशियन से रिलेटेड है, तो उसको उसी हिसाब से भी हैंडल इट. दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज ऑलमोस्ट 64 years. लेट बिजू बाबू started this chamber in the year 1964, and we have members from MSMEs, large industries, all major industries in the Odisha, they are our member. You talk of Vedanta or Nelco or steel plants, whatever. And then service sector, IT sector, then professionals, CA, chartered accountant, advocates, they are also our members. So we have a pool of talents with us. We take care of the issues which are being raised by our friends who are sitting over here. Certain burning issues, we take it which is of a common nature. Certain issues which is of a particular nature, then we take it with the concerned ministry, concerned department. So this is basically our role, and facilitating the issues. And on a wider scale, when I talk about the budgets and all these things, then we do sometimes do a lot of discussion amongst ourselves and give suggestions to the state government as well as the central government as the budget is coming on the 1st of Feb. So we always, every year we do certain exercise and give this information to the policy planners to take care of these things. So basically this is our role.
Sumana? Yes. What is the idea behind your company in a country like India where resources are scarce, but the needs are great? Solutions must be affordable, reliable, resilient, easy to distribute, and easy to use. Do you think frugal innovation is the way to go now?
In India, of course, frugal innovation has its important place, but a company like Prante, where we are doing making products for the people in sector of healthcare, frugal innovation is not something which I will advocate for, because it is here the health of the people is involved, where we can't take a risk. Here the cost effectiveness is more important than making it low cost. It should be something where we do the analysis and make a product which is of course easy to use and can be point of care, where it can reach to the people at the last mile. But at the same time, it should not compromise in the basic purpose of it, that is either diagnosis or therapy, because here we are dealing with the health of the people, and we can't take a chance by just being frugal. We have to be innovative, inventive, and at the same time, the product should be properly evaluated, validated, and should go through clinical trials before being in the market.
Right. What is it that you produce, and when did the company start?
So we started in 2015, just 1 year after you. So we are kind of an innovative company where we make the product from the scratch, where basically focusing on the diagnostic part. So we innovate or invent the biochemistry and the device around it. What is our basic aim is the diagnostics which is in the central lab. There are few diagnostics which has not been converted at the point of care. For example, kidney disease. Right now the CKD is being increased, but there is no simple POC that is available which is reliable and can go to the point of care. The screening and monitoring is the only way by which it can be controlled. So what we did is we made a diagnostic around it so that it can go to the last mile, because it does not require the cold chain logistic. It is very easy to use, and it can do the analysis in a very sensitive way, which can match to the clinical analyzer which has been done in the diagnostic labs.
Right. And what is the kind of reception that you're seeing for this?
Well, when we talk to various stakeholders of it, we see the enthusiasm, because as there is nothing of that kind in India, or you can see globally, so we see a lot of enthusiasm on them. At the same time, there is an apprehension, since it is not there for so long, how a startup in Orissa can make such a thing. So there is apprehension, but to take care of this apprehension, we are doing various validation studies. We have done with AIIMS Bhubaneswar, RMRC, there are various hospitals with which we are working, so that the people have the confidence when they see that the doctors and the biochemists, RMRC like ICMR institutes are validating it. So that is the way we have taken to bring in the confidence of the people.
Wonderful. Mr. Saul, if I can come to you. Tell us more about MSME DI and what does it do? How does it help MSMEs in the state?
MSME DI is basically a central government organization, and it is the first organization in state of Odisha before DIC coming to the picture. DIC comes later in 1978 or 80s. Before that, MSME DI was there, SISI, Small Industry Service Institute, and it was located in Cuttack. Till today, it has taken different name. MSME Development Institute, then it is MSME Development and Facilitation Office. It's a Ministry of MSME and Government of India office. It is located in Cuttack. All the schemes which are being implemented through DCMSME Development Commissioner MSME, Ministry of MSME, they are, whether it is implemented properly or not, we are guiding all our association members all the stakeholders, all the enterprises. That is one thing. Application and implementation of all these schemes of central government. Basically, we monitor it. Second part is we are helping in grassroots level in preparation of project reports. Many micro, small enterprises, they can't afford money to chartered accountants to prepare their project reports. In that case, we prepare them with a very nominal cost. Then we also help them providing the data bank of how to get a minimum, that is machinery, where to get good quality machinery, where to get raw material throughout India. Then we have a very strong data bank. There we help all our entrepreneurs in providing the technology support and marketing support also. We often carry out that is vendor development program with PSUs, public sector units. Many public sector units like Coal India or Paradip Port Trust, NALCO, we often carry out so many meetings with our association members, with our micro small enterprises, with these PSUs, so that what are the standards, what are the technology they are adopting nowadays, that particular technology and that particular standard product should be manufactured by our MSMEs, so that there will be one to B2B interaction and they can buy it from our micro enterprises. Then we also carry out many number of awareness programs. Recently, central government is implementing Vishwakarma Yojana. In every district, we are conducting awareness program on Vishwakarma Yojana, district headquarters, and we are trying our level best to create interest among these artisans, even 18 varieties of artisans, to register them on and sarpanchas to onboard them so that it can be verified easily and the particular result can take the shape. Again, our team is economic investigation. There are so many Indian economic services people are there in our office. They also carry out market survey reports, what they need, particular micro enterprises or small enterprises with a very nominal cost. They also prepare district potential survey reports, in which district, which particular product can take the shape of marketing, take the shape of manufacturing activity. Then what are the resources available in each district that can be pointed out. Then what are the technology available inside our state, and what are the technocrats where skilled persons are available inside the state. Suppose somebody wants to start a bakery unit. She got the training from us, and after training she wants some skilled labor. So in that case, we have a data bank where the already bakery units are situated. Then where the laborers are already retired from them, we can then offer is these people can help you. So one-to-one interaction, many small-scale industries, micro-industries, they need marketing support, technology support, and basically skilled labor's problem. There we help them, right?
Right, right. Mr. Das, if we can come to you, let's touch the aspect of innovation. Pace of technology means that, product life cycles change rapidly or are ephemeral in that sense. How do you ensure that you stay ahead of the competition through continuous innovation?
Yeah, that's interesting. So as an entrepreneur, we will never like our product to lose the race, right? So once we develop, it should continue generating revenue and give us profit. But the hard fact is it doesn't work like that. So as a strategy, and we are fortunate that the product that we introduced, and that we are in the initial stage where the growth was product was not actually happening, and then a product was not there. So we entered in the initial phase, and then growth, and then now it is actually after 5 years, it's maturing, and after maturing, it will probably decline. So before that, we have to make some differentiation and then take it up. So as a strategy, we are an R&D driven company. We have around out of 40% our workforce, 40% are in R&D. So we keep on innovating our product so that actually will always be ahead of that declining line. We won't go, and will make our product differentiated first. While saying so, I also say the fact that whatever is the thing, as an innovator, as a technocrat, we always don't always actually miss the actually importance of selling. What happens is we thought we come up with a champion product and probably rock the world. that doesn't happen like that. After 1-2 years, when I also introduced this product, so it was probably, for 5 years we had a monopoly, right? After that, people will come in, they will do something and come in, and then price, the gross margin that you are generating, it will drop drastically. At that time, sales role comes. And in retrospect, I always think, had I had a good, champion sales team at the initial stage, probably I would have a different trajectory altogether. So sales is a different ball game, and I think all the audience, I think most of our very seasoned MSME probably, it's my learning that, whatever makes the product, along with the innovation, sales team has to be very robust, very, very, very robust. That's it.
Right. So sales is a different ball game altogether. The way I'm coming to you, since you're in the technology domain and this is the age of distributed work, how can companies ensure that innovation is happening within the organization and among employees? And how do you develop this culture of reward, and how do you recognize people if he, clearly missed out on, having that rock star sales team? How is it that you are doing things differently, or are you?
Definitely, Gyana have mentioned all, I think so. And majorly he had said that if there is a robust sales team, you can conquer the world, right? With a good product, with a good sales team, you can do it all. Right. So with the innovation and the substances at type of, we are with the openness of thoughts, how they can put their thoughts to the everyone in the type of and how they can make an idea, make it happen. So that is how type of is emerging, and we prefer believe that one should come up with what exactly they are thinking, how they can do it, and how we can conquer that achievement altogether, right? So with the reward and recognition on the side of at type of, we majorly think how employee can get benefited through that, and the culture we are building at type of is the only thing everyone in the Bhubaneswar and out of Bhubaneswar talks about, how type of is great at the culture side we are building in. So the major thing is what we believe is the openness in the thought, how we are thinking and how resilient we are to make that happen. So that is the major thing I can vouch on, and majorly sales can do many things, and that's all I think Gyana have mentioned. Yeah.
Right. Mr. Shada, coming to you've interacted with a number of MSMEs through the association. What do you think makes companies in tier 2 and 3 cities uniquely qualified to tackle some of the pressing challenges in India? And what are the stumbling blocks?
Very good question. Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, particularly in the context of Orissa, I will say they have been lagging behind. Whatever we are talking, of course, there is no Tier 1 city in our state. No metros is there, so we have to talk of 2 and 3. But then whatever is taking place, we are really concerned about the way the inequality is taking place amongst in the whole area. The cluster approach is good approach. Development should take place in that particular cluster. That is a good approach. Bringing them together, the technology and the quality innovations bringing together so that others also learn. But I have seen it from my own experience. I have worked in Koraput, Malkangiri and those areas for almost 30 years. And I have not seen much of the development in that side, particularly the MSMEs, except certain handicrafts or certain things they have been doing. Whatever they do also, hand-holding is a big issue which is not taking place in our state. The parent companies are not forthcoming. I am blunt in saying so. Unfortunately, the principal secretary is not here. Even if we sign MOUs, we invite them, offer red carpet, that we are going to give you this. But when it comes to MSMEs, when it comes to giving them ancillary status, when it comes to giving them business, things are not happening. What happens? The business goes elsewhere in the name and the guise of quality, speed of delivery, as if it is not possible in Odisha or our people cannot do that. And then the terms and conditions which are being raised in those offers, say example, you should have a 5 years experience of supplying certain things. You should have this much of turnover in last 3 years. What will happen? We are talking of startups. From where the startup will bring the turnover? After all, startup only. तो से कोठु आनिबो मु बहुत समय मु टिके ओडिया रे कहि दउजी आपन मान जेहेतु मोर बंधु माने ओडिया रे माने कहि परिबे तो कहिबारे गुटे कथा प्रोजेक्ट होउची गुटे कथा किंतु होउ नै एगुडा का होउ नै and we have been bringing it to the notice of the concerned officials that as today I was hearing our principal secretary that we have given the interest subvention very recently, 10 days back only. A CM's intervention scheme has come, interest will be paid back at a certain category, 3 crores and above, and 10 lakhs like this. But there is a rider they have given in that scheme. What? The MSME or the company which is asking for that interest must have started production before March 2020. So if you are coming up with a scheme, why not from today? Anybody coming yesterday, he has started production and he has taken a loan from the bank and he has done all sorts of due diligence and have come up with a project. Why 2020 we are talking then? So this type of riders are always in every sector I have seen in the food processing, in any number of policies we have been talking. Certain riders, certain conditions which is not palatable, which kills the enthusiasm of the MSMEs. So your question was the tier 2 and tier 3, as you rightly said. We have infrastructure issues in those cities, the infrastructure issues, the accommodation issues, the education issue, the health issues. Certain soft issues have to be also taken care of. If you are talking of only issues like port and airport, so this is not the only thing which will attract the MSMEs to this place, which also issues which is required in these cities, which is somehow not at that fast track, though government is trying to bring in. But because of your question, I must say that the speed is not there as it should have been there.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for clearly identifying the stumbling blocks. Shobana, coming to you, India has not been able to develop itself as a strong base, especially for medical technology. Do you think you have the access to talent, funding, and the regulatory support needed to innovate?
Absolutely, you are right in the fact that India has not been able to develop, and right now the efforts are being taken in that direction. Majorly because the regulatory was not clear. So it was like the Indian products, they don't have the clear pathway how to get their regulatory clearance. And if they don't have the regulatory clearance, it is not of a great quality that is being regarded by the outside world. So as a result, the majority of the investment was not coming to India in the manufacturing sector, specifically in the healthcare. Now since the regulatory are now being streamlined, and as many of in our country is getting trained in the biotechnology and allied fields where they are able to use their knowledge and talent to develop new innovative products in terms of diagnostics and therapy. The government is now providing support in the initial stage. The initial support is very much required because you have to innovate the product, you have to develop the product, and it requires a huge funding. And you can't get the funding from the bank when you don't have a good balance sheet. and you can't have a balance sheet while you are developing the product. So at that time, the government is coming as a helping hand and giving us the grants to develop the product. But still, there is a huge gap if you consider right now. If you consider CIDSCO of India and FDA of America, there is a huge difference and a huge gap that we as a cluster of groups, as a startup, a mid-tier, we are trying to bridge that. But of course, it will take its own sweet time.
South, I can come to you, very briefly, if you can tell us, there are central government schemes, there are state government schemes for the benefit of MSMEs. Time. So, last questions, and I'll request everyone to be brief. Talking about collaboration, Mr. Das, how much of that is happening in the state, and do you guys have the platform to collaborate and communicate with each other?
I think collaboration is a very important thing in your journey. I'll give you one example, the kind of collaboration we have here. The very fact that I am in Bhubaneswar, that's because of one of the collaborations only. So, because I was in Hyderabad and I came here because we wanted an R&D setup where because we make chemicals for mining industry. So, the mining industry needs a lot of infrastructure to do the R&D. So, I came here primarily because CSR IIMT is here. So, that's how we set up here. And when we are looking for now we had developed chemical. Now we wanted to do digitalization so that actually the efficiency of dosing operations can be monitored. When we were doing that, we're trying to do that, we are looking for agencies who can do that, because we cannot have all expertise within our team. Initially, we were a very lean team and we wanted to do that. And we, though I am from IIT Bombay, so I have a lot of friends who can actually do this coding. I look for a startup who is actually within our fraternity in Bhubaneswar. And we got excellent work, I hired them. And now they are like, we have given them 3 projects, one after one. The two advantages. Local startups, first is the joy of sharing that, helping a startup who is actually a fellow startup, right? That's the joy. Second is cost-wise and reliability-wise much better. So that's actually, there is one, similarly for social media, when we were trying to do that, we always first tried for people in Orissa or Bhubaneswar, rather than for my friends back in Bombay and all, where they can do pretty good job and probably free. So that's how, so collaboration is happening, and I think it should happen more, not to the extent that it should happen. We can improve it by probably more interaction among startups. There are many platforms like this. This is one of the platforms where we will have probably network and do some kind of collaboration, discuss about the collaboration. But I think I don't have any ready-made idea, but I think more interaction among startups will help.
Divya, what's your experience?
More of regular Orissa, whereas we can have more collaboration in the sense of helping each other in any area one can have, right? Like I need help, so I can ask in the group itself, so that one can help me out on the other situation, right? So collaboration is still growing, and I can say on the side of tech and also on the side of hiring people is good on the collaboration side, but it can be efficient for others as well, so that we can collaborate more on the given areas and as well as grow each other, right? So yeah, it can be more of a platform, you can say, where everyone can get engaged and get to know about each other and can help each other. But yes, there is yet to come a platform who can connect us with each other. But definitely looking forward to have a platform like that, so that the collaboration can be happen more of in this ecosystem as well.
Right. Zashan, can the Utkal Chamber of Commerce be that platform that Divya is looking at for collaboration, for networking? Can the Chamber of Commerce be one such platform?
Very pertinent for me, because tomorrow we are going to sign an MOU with one of the engineering colleges in Khorda, and we in the pipeline of signing MOUs with our Association of Utkal Chamber with some more. So industry academia collaboration, which we have planned in a big way, which is tomorrow itself is going to take place. So collaboration amongst the association also is very important, because all are working for a particular cause, and which is burning issue, as I was telling TMSME scheme. I don't know how many people have got 2 crores of loan without collateral. Many times it is said this under the scheme you will get 2 crores without collateral. Sir, is it the scheme? But no, it's not there. It's not there, sir. So this 2 crore also not there, 5 crores are not there, because very recently I met with the regional director of RBI. He said, please go through the circular very carefully. What is return? The bank can give loan up to 5 crores or 2 crores, which is correctly said 5 crores. But it is not collateral free loan. Collateral free is only 10 lakhs. Collateral free will be given only 10 lakhs rupees. not 2 crores or 5 crores. And this is none else than the regional director RBI tells me. And he shows me a circular also. Sir, from where you, sir, road paper में पढ़ते सब तो ही बोलते 2 crore मिल जाएगा, हमने को little मिलेगा. लेकिन this is not a fact, sir. आप उनकी inquiry करिए, request करिए. It's not happening. I don't know if anybody has got collateral free loan of 2 crores or 5 crores of this. So this is a misnomer for me as an association, because it hurts us a lot when people come to us and say, "Yes, sir, मिलता नहीं है, कुछ खाली बोल भाषण में सुनते हैं, बात करते हैं, लेकिन होता नहीं है." So anyway, so they can always react to my this issue. But then, sir, collaboration we have been doing, we have to do it. Innovation in the association is also very important. The 60 years back, the association के सामने जो चैलेंज आज हमारे सामने ज़्यादा चैलेंजेस हैं, एक्सपेक्टेशन हमसे बहुत ज़्यादा है, जो हमारे मेंबर्स हैं, they have a lot of expectation from us. So we have also to innovate within the organization as well, and we do it on a continuous basis. We keep on visiting countries, we keep on visiting industries. Recently we had been to Egypt, we had been to Nepal, we have to Afghanistan, like this, and we are a pipeline in US also, our association is visiting. Like this, and this first time what has happened, which I will request SIDBI to also take clue from that, what the state government has done. In the Jharsuguda 19th, 20th and 21st, the enterprise Orissa is taking place. First time we have gone out of Bhubaneswar. As I was telling, it's not going in the other cities. The first time at least our state government has planned it, and the entrepreneurs and MSMEs all will be assembling in Jharsuguda on 19th and 20th. I'll request the all top brass of SIDBI sitting over here to kindly do take this forum to place like Jharsuguda, Rourkela and southern Odisha में. Western Odisha तो Jharsuguda है, लेकिन southern Odisha अगर रायगढ़ कलाहांडी साइड में भी ले चले, कभी देखिए प्लान कीजिए, so that more of the people can inclusive हो जाएगा ये सब discussion होगा. True. Thank you, sir. True.
Chumala, he talked about the collaboration with academia, universities. How much of that is happening for you guys? Do you have the platform?
For us, the collaboration with the universities and hospitals has been the crust of our product development and innovation. So we have almost all the top tier institutes in Bhubaneswar we have collaboration with, whether it is KIT, whether it is Bhubaneswar University, whether it is AIMS Bhubaneswar, Capital Hospital, RMRC, we have collaboration with them. In terms of having the talent acquired, that is also we are having with the KIT University as well as CGTC and CIPET. And in terms of the network, though we have a very small numbers of companies in Orissa, we have a network where we can discuss what are the challenges that we are facing in terms of regulatory, the MSME, as Sir said, the loan, getting the investment, getting the land, getting the infrastructure, getting the subsidy. So we have that platform, though we are 4 or 5 in number, but we do discuss and try to figure out how we can take care of that.
Right. So last word with you. You've talked about the cluster-based approach. Do you think that is the best way to collaborate and share knowledge?
Cluster is the best approach because there the raw material availability is there. Because in a cluster bank, huge quantity of raw material can be purchased with the low price. All the members can now availability of raw material is there. Second, any particular visits are said. Suppose you want to have a technology outside from the Japan, then there the cluster people at a time, the cluster will finance you to visit the Japan and get the quotation, the technology from Japan. Third, cluster can take part directly to the PSUs, public sector units, to provide their requirement. But when the cluster will take the care of that, then any micro small enterprises, they can avail the funding, raw material, all these things and my orders from PSUs through cluster. And it will be more beneficiary to the small and micro entrepreneurs who are there in Orissa. They are not growing because of that, because the market is not assured. And once the PSUs will take care of it, the doubt of market is there for railway itself. And in Orissa, purchase of railway in Orissa is very nominal. I have been already worked in Calcutta, MSME DFO. There is a 40% of procurement is only from Howrah. And other 10% of railway procurement will increase in Odisha. I think in our association, so many units will have crushed their turnover from 2 crores to 3 crores immediately. So cluster can help them to bring the market from railway to our micro entrepreneurs. Thanks.
Right. I think this was the most engaging conversation we had. Thank you to all our panel members. Can we have a big round of applause for them, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, panelists. Please, I request you all to please stay back, and I request the Associate Editor to present the token of gratitude. We can't miss the protocol, that's so special. To the panelists for sharing their perspectives, some of their worries also. That is a special platform. That's how we overcome the hurdles and shine bright. I request you to present the token of gratitude to Sumona Kaji Mishra. I expected the house to give a right round of applause to the panelists and the moderator. And to Divya Mali. Shri Yanaranjan Das. Shri Ashok Kumar Sharda. And Shri Subhash Kumar Sahu. Now that's a token of appreciation that everyone will feel appreciated receiving, especially when you are bringing smile on the faces of 150 children through midday meals. Thanks so much. And then we have a round of applause for our associate editor, who is someone as experienced as him, can channel so much bright energy and bring the best out of every speaker and panelist. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we reached the last leg of this conclave, and we will be focusing on MSME finance and SIDBI's vision for a strong and vibrant ecosystem in Orissa. From SIDBI family, I'll be requesting Shri Pramod Kumar Vijayvargiya, who is a BTech in Computer Technology, has over 28 experience years in development banking at various offices and verticals handling credit operations, IT and policy functions at SIDBI. Join us here and share his thoughts. Sir.
Good evening, all the distinguished guests, my MSME friends. A very warm welcome to all of you who have taken time out from your schedule and have come to attend this MSME Conclave, which has been organized by SIDBI in association with Economic Times. So basically, I think we are very short on time, so I will just speak about the major features of our various direct finance. Our SIDBI's presence in terms of direct finances through its 3 zonal offices and 12 regional offices across India and 97 branch offices. We have a branch in Odisha, which is at Bhubaneswar, and I am happy to share that our portfolio at Bhubaneswar has more than doubled during last 2 years, and this is, let me assure you, this is just the beginning, and we are all geared up through our local office to reach out to more and more MSMEs. Our MSME loans are in basically these various different categories: machinery loan, project loan, green finance loan, and working capital. Our first scheme for the purchase of machinery is SPEED. And as the name would suggest, speed is the essence of this scheme. It is through a totally automated evaluation mechanism through an online application which the company can submit through the comfort of their home or office. And the process, the evaluation process is also automated. And to simplify the scheme, we have a 100% financing model with 25% FDR. As an alternative, it can come with 25% contribution from the promoter. And it is for purchase of plant and machinery and equipment, miscellaneous fixed assets. The eligibility, as you can see, is operation for 3 years, cash profit during last 3 years, and the existing customer also and new to bank customers both can be considered under this particular scheme. The rate again is very attractive linked to our MCLR, and repayment tenure, higher repayment tenure of up to 7 years can be considered. This is the express scheme which our CGM had also indicated. Here it is a totally straight through processing. We leverage the bank statement, GST, and the income tax data of the customer. And through a business rule engine, the sanction happens with an immediate and principal sanction based on inputs from these various networks. This again is for loans up to 3 crore. This can be done through a straight through processing model. And again, the rate is very effective here, linked with our MCLR. This is another product where it is for, again, this can cover the capital expenditure other than machinery also, a RISE scheme. Here again is a minimum 2 years of operation and cash profits in last financial year. So again, there 2 years cash profit is not required, only 1 year cash profit is required. And in this particular scheme, repayment can be of up to 7 years with a moratorium of up to 2 years. So this I think is a differentiator, because normally banks, when they are financing these loans, normally repayment period is also up to 5 years and moratorium of up to 1 year. Here again, maximum term loan is 50 crore, which is the borrower-wise ceiling for SIDBI, up to maximum of 80% of the project cost. This again is a for greenfield units. I think SIDBI was one of the first institutions which were which took up financing of greenfield projects. Earlier SFCs were doing it, but after SFCs, in most of the states, they were not into the lending, active lending. So SIDBI came up with a project finance scheme. So this is a variation of that project finance scheme where greenfield projects which include financing of land, building, plant and machinery, miscellaneous fixed assets, and all other various parts of the project cost. So we are able to finance all these with a promoter contribution of 25% minimum. And here promoters should have 5 years of business experience for loans above 5 crore and 3 years of business experience for loans up to 5 crore. Here again we can give a repayment period of up to 7 years. In this particular scheme we have a flexible repayment schedule option also, where if the industry is having some kind of seasonality, off season, on season, so we can build in that kind of flexibility while fixing the repayment schedule. Green finance scheme, this is the flavor of the season. Here, this again I think is one scheme where most of the other banks are not as active as SIDBI has been for financing of renewable energy projects, solar, wind, hydro, and all other kinds of green projects, waste management, waste to energy, e-waste, then carbon capture and storage. And we are financing RESCOs, ESCOs under this particular scheme. And here repayment period is up to 10 years. So depending upon the size of the project and the expected cash flows, repayment period of higher of up to 10 years can be extended under the scheme. This is the end-to-end energy efficiency investments. This scheme, particular scheme is for units to help implementing energy efficiency measures on an end-to-end basis. And here the repo linked attractive, very attractive rates which are linked with the repo rate. And again the repayment period is up to 7 years. And maximum term loan of 7.5 crore. And 90% of the project cost can be financed under this scheme. Working capital, as CGM had indicated, we had started doing working capital for our term loan customers. We have tie-ups with Yes Bank, IDBI Bank, and City Union Bank, and we are using their platform for extending the working capital facility to our term loan customers. And we have recently come up with a variant of this working capital facility, wherein we are able to provide the overdraft also through the same arrangements with Yes Bank, IDBI Bank, and City Union Bank. In both the facilities, again, the rates are quite competitive. These are a couple of schemes specific for women entrepreneurs. Arjuna, here 50% of the guarantee fee to be borne by, is being borne by SIDBI, and the processing fee is much lower. These are for the MSMEs, which are promoted by women entrepreneurs with minimum of 51% stake. This is a specific scheme for enterprises which are being run by women entrepreneurs. And a similar scheme we have for MSMEs promoted by SC and STs, Saath. Saath is the name of the scheme, where again similar 50% of the guarantee fee is borne by SIDBI and there is a lower processing fee. This is the journey of complete digitization which DMD sir had also indicated and our CGM also indicated. We have a full online application starting from inquiry, origination. Due diligence is also taken care by the various bureau checks and due diligence searches. All this takes place automatically along with the application itself. Underwriting, for underwriting we have various tools which take care of the inputs required for decision making. The second last, documentation is one area. I think SIDBI is the first institution which is offering digital document execution, including e-signing and e-stamping for MSME loans. Some of the banks are doing it for retail loans, but SIDBI is the first institution to have commenced this for MSME in the MSME loan space. In the last one, we have a customer portal where customers need not come to SIDBI office for submitting any documents. They can directly log into the portal and submit whatever stock statements, documents are required to be submitted to SIDBI. So we would like to make the journey of customers seamless, end-to-end digital, using the leveraging the technology. These are the coordinates of our Bhubaneswar branch office. I would request all of you to take a note or snap of these coordinates. I would also request ET team to share these coordinates with all the participants in the conclave. And before I end, I would like to respond to Sharda sir, who indicated about the CGTMSE. So sir, this is RBI, as per the RBI guidelines, loans up to 10 lakhs, they are not, banks are not allowed to take any collateral security. So up to 10 lakh, it is mandatory that banks cannot take any collateral security. Beyond 10 lakhs and up to 2 crore, and then recently which has been increased to 5 crore, banks can extend loans without collateral security, covering the entire loan facility under CGTMSE. So banks have that option beyond 10 lakhs, but below 10 lakhs, they cannot take collateral security at all. And this increasing the coverage of more and more loans under collateral security is being directly monitored during SLBC meetings and empowered committee meetings of MSME by RBI, and banks are continuously being told to cover more and more eligible loans under CGTMSE. So I think with the passage of time, this is going to, banks would be more and more encouraged to cover loans under CGTMSE, and this has been increasing over a period of time. Below 10 lakhs, it is mandatory. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll request General Manager, economictimes.com, Jaideep Ghosh, to please join us here and present a token of gratitude to Shri Pramod Kumar Vijayvargya. Those are information every entrepreneur needs to know. Thank you so much, SIDBI family, for being so thoughtful. And the norms and the regulations are so entrepreneur friendly. The floor is now open for questions. So anything you want to know, please feel free to introduce yourself and ask the question.
Hello. Sir, good evening to everyone. My name is Sanjay Nanda, sir. I am a consultant in the field of IGBC, that is Indian Green Building Council, as well as in the training. So my question to sir also, I discussed with him. When we are talking about Indian Green Building Council, which is part of CII and promoting green homes, there was one loan which was given to solar and this e-bike. So there are material which is being manufactured, like bricks, plywoods, which is green building certified product to make a green home. So will those kind of manufacturers get a loan, sir, from SIDBI? Can it happen in that way?
Yes, it can very much happen.
Whether it is a bricks or a plywood or anybody,
Yeah.
because IGBC is an authority, it has got, we have a head office in Hyderabad. So we are certifying that your product is green certified. So after it is green certified, they can approach to SIDBI. We want to put up a plant, a plywood or bricks or glass, you know. So for that, will SIDBI support us in getting loan to those manufacturers?
Yes, it is very much eligible. So you can approach our office.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Thank you. Definitely these products can be covered and they are eligible to be covered. You can get in touch with us, sir.
Sir. Thank you. Because the concept of green home also now coming up by Bhubaneswar Development Authority.
Yeah, most welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Another mic, please.
Myself, Dr. Rameswar Edition, founder and CEO of Villamart. So my question is regarding the CGTMS scheme. We have taken that loan, but thing is, along with that primary interest, we are getting some additional 3% or something interest because we don't have any collateral. And again, with that, some means a heavy amount of CGTMS fees is there. If we add all these, so I don't think it is below 14% or so. So it is high, means pretty high for a startup. So is it means we are on right path, or anyhow we can reduce it?
No, everybody is on the right path. There is no issue on that we are on wrong path. But the question is just to inform you that CGTMC has reduced its fees considerably, and the maximum is around 1.2. So very recently, and there are different structures up to certain loan amount. There is a 0.5 basis points and 0.6, 0.7 and 1.20. So there is no point that is they are charging 3 and 4%. So it's a guarantee fee they charge, which is passed on to banks, take it from you and they pass into CGTMSC. It is in lieu of collateral. Since the concern doesn't have any collateral, so it's a kind of insurance, right? So even taking some insurance, you need to pay a certain amount of fee for that. And to address that, it is not that it was so high earlier. CGTMC has reduced the charges very recently. Yeah.
So we have to contact the bank to reduce that, or so it will be automatically?
Definitely, it must have been passed on to, I don't know who is the banker.
I'll contact you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else, sir?
Hello, good evening to everyone. I am Narendra Naik from microfinance sector. I represent OSAFI, Orissa State Association. It's an association of all NBFC, MFI, Small Finance Bank. We are very grateful to SIDBI that SIDBI has been supporting a lot to the microfinance sector since beginning. But my only query is that big MFIs, there are different sizes of MFIs. Big MFIs are always eligible to get the loans from SIDBI and they are expanding. My concern or my representation is only for the smaller and medium-sized MFIs, whether they could also get the loan funds to expand their portfolio and outreach in Odisha specifically.
I would request Arup sir to respond to this query. Yeah.
This conclave is on MSMEs. You are supplier of credit to MSMEs. So, still, I would answer to your question. 25 years back, we started this journey of MFI creation in the country. If you remember, in early 90s, in the country, SIDBI bank linkage program was happening. NABARD was spearheading this, and RBI was naturally supporting that. During that time, we realized, SIDBI realized that time around 68,000 bank branches were there in the country, and for a country as vast as ours, 68,000 bank branches are not going to take care of this huge need. And so we decided that we need to create alternative channels through which we are able to pass the credit to the needy. And so we started working with the NGOs that time, giving them support in terms of capacity building, in terms of some support, resource support, all those things, equity, transformation loan, to make them micro bank. Over a period of time that has graduated to be MFI, because NGO MFI, then FFI, formal financial institution, we wanted to make them so that there is some transparency in operation, some controls are there. Post-AP crisis, Malabgam Committee, and then NBFC MFI concept came into being. And now recent guidelines of RBI on this sector, where above certain AUM, one has to necessarily be registered as NBFC, otherwise NBFC, MFI. Otherwise, you can continue to be, that's Section 8, Section 25 company and run the microfinance operation. This is the journey we all through supported in the sense that we spearheaded this. MFI is a creation which we can take pride in, that SIDBI, and 3.5 lakh crore credit flow is happening through this model. The comparative figure for SHG bank linkage is around 1.5 crore, 1.5 lakh crore today. So, when you are talking about smaller NBFCs, MFIs, this is what we have been doing. Today also we do. Only requirement is that we want them to, in case they want to do something, 3 years, 36 months you run on your own. Thereafter we are there to support. Some grading exercise, COCA exercise, all those things where we see your intent. See, the smaller NBFCs versus smaller MFIs, the difference is MFIs work with social objective. NBFCs, they came and come for commercial sense. So, we always have been supporting MFIs, we'll continue supporting, but we want you to improve on your system so that the COCA exercise and all those MCRIL or whosoever you approach, CRISIL and all, that grading you get to a level where we can support, which indicates to you also, to us also, that we have built your system to a level where commercially you can run that. Thank you.
Anything? Yeah, there is a mic requirement there, sir. Yes, please.
Sir, suppose we take help of CGTSME to secure our loans. So the bank is getting a much higher quality guarantee and easy liquidity in that case. So is the bank passing on the benefit to us by reducing their interest rate so that, effectively it comes to the same level, whether we have given any property as a collateral or we are taking CGTS as a collateral?
That's a very nice question. I would like to address, I think to a certain extent, yes. Whenever, instead of collateral, the coverage under CGTMS is taken on our rating scale, on a risk parameters, the rating improves of the client. So when the rating improves, then definitely as a corollary, the rate of reduction as the scorecard, whatever is there for a different rating, that comes down. So definitely you get a good pricing whenever the system is covered, yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, is there any scheme in which we get bill discounting? SIDBI can help us. Suppose we have a PO and we supply it.
Yeah.
It takes time for the party to pay. So can we approach SIDBI for that?
I think if you have heard such introduction in the beginning about invoice discounting, it is there, for which we are coming up with, that is GST, GST side. Yeah, so for discounting, you have to go to trades. Earlier, SIDBI used to do bill discounting. We used to do it ourselves. But now that is being taken care by trades like RXIL. So these institutions, they take care of bill discounting, sir. I think there is a last, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Because Access Founders Market. So, do you also finance to the SaaS-based product? It's a software as a service.
Software, yes. As a service industry, we do provide. Service sector is definitely eligible under SIDBI's financing scheme. Certainly, yes. There are definitely different parameters for assessing the eligibility criteria and the rating mechanism. But definitely, yes.
Can we know what sort of the rating parameter are you for?
Definitely, we can get in touch with us, sir, in the office.
Definitely,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks. And can I ask another question to our,
panelists? Yes, please. Yes.
No, Saswat sir.
Saswat sir, I am so sorry to say. I think he had some other engagements, so he's not here right now.
No problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Ma'am, that's all.
Thank you so much, SIDBI team, for addressing those queries. Thank you, Floor, for those pertinent questions. Thank you once again for your participation and spirit in making this conclave a grand success. I would expect everyone to give a big round of applause for SIDBI family and ET family for collaborating for something so innovative, and we look forward to many more initiatives in future. Please do join us for the interactive dinner. Communicate with your fellow entrepreneurs and our officials for any other query you might have in mind. Thank you. Namaskar.